What's going on, everybody? Thank you for being here. Quick couple of announcements before we get started for tonight. RPG Thursday and Free for All Friday will be going on this week. I do not have any other plans or anything that should impede that. And I'm feeling better than I was last week whenever we were trying to do it, so that's a plus. D&D Sunday and Monday going on as usual. Next Civil War Alliance, which is our Saturday group, is the 17th, and the next Empire group game is the 21st. So if you are interested in checking those out, you are welcome to do so. Other than that, we are going to get our recap and beginning of our game going here. So we're going to jump back into Discord and make sure that we're good to go. Alright, so we are good to go. Let's get our music bot playing some music here. And Bailey, would you mind taking over the recap for us, please?
All right, so we all started at Port City, which I did not write down the name of. Sorry.
Baldur's Gate.
And we all individually got on the boat, and then we started our trip. And on our trip, we got attacked by like a baby kraken type thing, and we were doing okay. And then it tipped our ship over, and we kind of got capsized, and we fell, and we got stranded onto a different town, and I believe that was called Cleto is what is it called?
Yeah, you were on the outskirts of the city of Cleto.
Yeah, and then a cleric came and helped us. We went to a shop. Then we traveled to the main city. Slavomir went to the bar while everyone else went to meet the council, which was a council of elves or half elves of women. And then a big shadowy creature appeared over a crypt over someone important. And so we all went forward to go to that. We discovered that it wasn't real. It was like an image, a spell, and it was speaking a language no one understood. So we all went in, and we went in a secret like passageway, and we're cut off from everyone else. And we found some secret doors. We found some special orbs that told us a story. And right when we left off, me and Slavomir found a ghost, and we're kind of a little bit away from everyone else. So that's kind of what happened.
All right. So as Bailey's alluded to, we left off with everybody accompanying Mariel and the High Council to the Shrine of Tyris, where the people of Kaledo witnessed the large apparition floating over the city. Gave some very ominous words, saying that death would rule over Clycair in 14 days. You guys delved into the shrine. Vormash and Avalana listened to a couple of stories a little beyond their own will, not wanting to actually participate, but did so whether they wanted to or not. And then after receiving the bit of troubling news, we advanced a little further. We are now joining our party in the pool, the sacred pool of the shrine, where they met a ghost who was hovering over the water and didn't say anything until Avalana decided that she was going to mention that I guess we'll leave, at which point the apparition said, "You will only leave when you're dead." With that, I'm going to need Avalana and Slavomir to give me initiative rolls, please. Click on your token first and then do your roll, don't forget.
That was really bad.
Sorry, I keep pressing button.
It's okay. All right, so I'm going to adjust based on what you guys had here the first time. Let's see. Slavomir had a 13. All right. With that, we're going to leave it to Slavomir. The ghost hasn't attacked or done anything that would have a negative impact on you yet. So what would you like to do?
I guess I'll talk to the ghost.
Okay.
And it's a woman, right? I don't know. Did you describe the ghost last time?
I did not. So the ghost is very similar to the very large apparition you saw outside. It only has the basic high elf features of the long pointy ears and the facial structure that you would expect of a high elf. But other than that, it's hard to distinguish who or what this ghost actually is.
Okay. I don't understand. If you only leave when you die, why are you still here?
And the ghost looks over at you and says, "Who says I'm dead?"
Oh. Then why so ominous?
Can't beings take other form than fleshy ones like you have?
No, you make good point. So what kind of being are you?
I am a god. I am a ruler. I'm here to look over the people of Kalido. And the people of Clycare.
That seems reasonable. So, why can't I leave?
Because you have entered my chambers. Did you have my permission to enter into my chambers?
Oh, you make very good argument. But I did not see the door and the knocking. I don't understand. So, I am very sorry.
Do I have to wait till my turn to talk?
No, speak away.
Yeah, you can jump in. We haven't started combat, but we're preparing just in case. There's no movement at this time.
Okay, I'm gonna say I'm sorry. We didn't know that these were your personal chambers. We're just looking for the source of the big scary thing on top of the crypt.
But I am the source.
So you're scaring all of the people you protect?
Sometimes, to protect what you need, you have to kill those who oppose you.
So let me get this straight. You're going to kill Clycare to protect them?
The people of Clycare do not know what I am capable of. They do not know what their ruler will do to them, and they follow blindly.
Are you talking about the king? Or are you talking about you?
Oh dear.
Yes, I'm also confused.
I am very much talking about the king.
Oh, so is King good or no?
I'm sure you believe him to be good. I have differing opinions.
Oh, I don't actually have an opinion. What is yours?
With that, the ghost kind of chuckles and says, "If you don't have any other questions,
Oh wait, I have one question.
And the ghost turns and looks at you without saying anything.
What if, like, instead of killing us, like, we became, like, your followers or something?
You wish to follow the
like,
god.
you know, worshippers, you know? You know, like how there's clerics that do, like, a god's bidding?
Are you trying to deceive the ghost?
I'm, like, trying to persuade the ghost to not kill me.
Yes, I think I'm very confused. This message is gonna fall on how do you say, the deaf ears if we die, huh?
Avalana, because you are trying to be convincing towards this ghost, go ahead and give me a persuasion check, please.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the ghost rolled an 18.
Wait.
Which means
no.
the ghost isn't willing to discuss this with you. They have their own agenda, and unfortunately, while your offer was very tempting, the ghost doesn't seem interested in having you to accompany it. And with that, Vormash and Belvedere, can you guys give me initiative rolls, please?
Yep.
Don't forget to click your character first, or your token first.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah.
That was a good roll, too.
Yeah, it's fine. I can change it.
Wait, so we click on our token first and then roll initiative?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. So with that, the ghost, seeing that Avalana is trying to beg and kind of plead with this ghost to not kill you guys in exchange for joining, the ghost looks over at her and says, I have no pity for the weak. You will not survive this day. At which point, the ghost disappears. And a water weird appears in its place.
Oh no.
Slavomir, since you are in the room first, you will get the first round, and then once we get past Avalana, we will reorganize the party and Belvedere will go.
Alright, so I'm going to move up.
You are traveling in about 5 foot deep water.
Yeah, fun fact. I completely knew that, and I meant to travel along the edge.
I was going to say, just as I kind of described in the first session, the water is very putrid, so going through the water will mean that you'll probably have to do a Constitution save. So if you're going to go the other way, that's perfectly okay.
Yeah, can I hang out on that ledge?
Absolutely.
All right, in that case, hanging out on the ledge, I decide to rage.
Alrighty.
And I attack with my greatsword.
All right.
And just for shits and gigs, let's do a reckless attack.
All right. Go ahead and give me the roll. Let's see. Yep, 14 hits. Go ahead and click where it says Great Sword and give me the damage. And Reckless.
And Raging, so it's +2.
Yep. This is a slashing attack from a non-magical item. So as you come in and you go to hit this this water weird, you see that your sword goes through it, and you can see it actually hits it. But unfortunately, as it's going through and you feel the resistance on the sword, it reforms and comes back together, kind of like it's not really affected that much by it.
Oh no. And that will finish my turn.
All right. One sec. All right. With that, the water weird is up. And since you have opted to get its attention, the water weird turns around and is going to try to constrict you in place. As it spins around and tries to wrap its jaws or maws of this weird water elemental. It wraps around you and hits for a 15. Does that hit?
A 15 will hit me.
All right, so as it hits, you feel it kind of grab onto you. I'm going to need a DC, let's see, strength save. If you would, please.
Okay, so I have, let me see. Normally, because I'm raging, I have advantage, but I'm also doing reckless attack, so I'm trying to see if...
Yes, but you would be at disadvantage during your first turn until your next, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so does that even out?
Yeah, so you would just roll it normal. Yep. Okay, unfortunately, with that roll, the water weird grabs onto you and kind of grabs onto your wrist and kind of pulls after you've sliced through it with your sword. And it pulls you forward and drags you into this water, kind of holds you there. I'm also going to need a Constitution saving throw, please. Okay, so yeah, you saved on the Constitution save, but you still take a total of 10 damage from the grapple and him pulling you into the water here. And that ends its turn.
Ugh.
Yeah, Avalana, what are you gonna do?
All right, so I am going to cast Dissonant Whispers.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, we could have been something beautiful. You don't know what you missed out on. And then, like, for a bonus action, I'm going to be like, get in here, guys. We're fighting a god.
All right, so let's see. Yep, that's going to, let's see. Is that a wisdom save? Yeah, oh, and he crit failed on the wisdom save, so he's going to take the full brunt of that damage from the Dissonant Whispers. So as you say this, you see as the maw of this this water elemental is now trying to force Slavomir down into this putrid water. You say these words, and it understands and it hears you, and it kind of whips around, and you see as Slavomir kind of slides through the body of this thing, and it's still kind of holding on to him, and it now turns and looks at you. But it kind of bothered it that you would say such mean things to it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anything else?
Other than just shouting for the others to
Okay.
come, no.
Okay. So we are at the top of the turn order here. Belvedere, I'm going to let you do your thing first. And then Vormash, I will have you follow up, and then we'll go back to the top of the turn order.
All right. Which direction am I hearing this shenanigans coming from?
Give me a perception check.
Rip.
It echoes through all of the chambers here. So at this time, you are completely unaware of which direction the yells are coming from.
That's unfortunate.
That is very unfortunate.
I can see it Vormash from here, so I'll shout at him and like, which way they go?
Vormash, you can respond if you would like to. You there, Vormash?
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
What just happened?
Belvedere is trying to figure out where the shouting's coming from, but unfortunately it's just echoing through the chamber and he can't figure it out. And he is looking to you, asking where the party is.
Do I hear them?
Yes, and I believe you watched as the party went forward.
Alright. So, I'm gonna yell down to...
You're breaking up a bit. I don't think anybody can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, you're better now.
Maybe not. It's up toward Vormash.
Yeah, it's up by where he is where the rest of the group is.
So I yell down, saying that our friends are this way, and I'm gonna start running towards them.
Okay, so you're gonna have to wait until Belvedere finishes his movement before you can move. So yeah, I'll have you drop back here. And So, Belvedere, you do your thing.
I move on the same square as him since that's my 30 feet. He's going to be moving after me anyway.
You can move to the corner if you want. Either side, it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's fine. All right, and Vormash, you are moving into the chamber ahead?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to use my double movement if that's all right.
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
gonna go this way.
Yep, that's fine.
It's still dark on this end for me.
You're a human without dark vision
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense.
and no torch.
Alright. Let me see if I have something.
You guys cannot occupy the same squares, so
Would it be an action to light a torch?
I will let you light torches on a bonus action.
Okay, so I'm going to light a torch so I can see
Yeah.
his thickness.
Okay. Lighting the torch will give you 20 and 15. All players. Boom. You'll get 15 feet of bright light around you.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey. Look at that.
Hello there.
With that, we're going back to the top of the turn order, and Belvedere, you are the man up first.
Alrighty. In that case, for my bonus action this turn, because I'm assuming I'm down a ledge from him right now.
You are actually on the top level. The bottom level is on this side.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
exciting.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, if I were to say like drop my torch near the edge, would that still like be enough to provide some like light?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that if you drop it, it's just I'm gonna just keep the light on you still. So just kind of be mindful of that.
All right, well, I'm gonna like go rush forward, drop the torch, cast divine favor on myself, and then go and take this water elemental to task with my great sword.
Alrighty. Go ahead and do your movement to get into position and give me some attack rolls. If you go there, you're going to fall off the cliff and into the water below.
That's water on that side.
Yeah, the whole center part of it here, where this guy is currently at, is water. So your ledge is that gray section directly to your backside here. So if you're standing here, you're safe, but if you move up, you're in the water.
Okay, I'm still within attack.
Yep.
Melee distance. Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
In that case, rip.
Yeah, unfortunately, you come around with this long sword, and kind of like Slavomir when he hit, you see you hit it, but your blade just goes right through it and does absolutely nothing to it, doesn't even phase it, and it is obviously still standing and waiting, holding Slavomir underwater. What would you like to do? Anything else you would like to do? Or is that the end of your turn?
I'll curse at the water elemental.
All right. You say a few curse words, and the water elemental doesn't pay you any attention. It's busy over here trying to drown Slavomir. Slavomir, you can take your action to try to break out of the grapple. So give me a strength save if you would like to do so. And then if you do not, you'll need a con save. That breaks it. So you're able to kind of free yourself from this elemental who's trying to basically drown you. And you can now move away from this thing and kind of get yourself to safety. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, as a actually, I think that's pretty much all I got going on. So I'll also curse at it.
Damn you, water elemental.
Maverick.
With that, it is the elemental's turn, and he's going to turn his attention over to Avalana, who said some very hurtful things to him.
Well, they were true.
They were true.
I agree.
Does a 19 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so just like before with Slavomir, I'm going to need a strength save, please. And unfortunately, with that roll, the water weird is going to turn your direction, and similar to Slavomir, it's going to attack, but it's going to kind of grab on to your leg because it's the closest thing that he can get a hold of, and goes to drag and pull you in, and is going to pull you into the water here. You're going to take 9 bludgeoning damage from the attack, and I need a Constitution saving throw, please.
Is she falling off the cliff?
She is officially off of the ledge and down about... It's about a 5-foot drop down to the water, and then the pool itself is 5 foot deep. But you save easily on the Constitution save, so you don't have to take any additional damage at this time. With that, it is your turn. Would you like to use your turn to break free and get out of this water?
No, I do not. I will cast Vicious Mockery, because I think... What could I, like, without using an action, could I, like, do a roll to see if I know if only magic hurts this creature?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a nature check, actually.
That's a +1 to it, so it would be 3, I believe.
So even still, with that roll, you're not going to learn anything off of it. You know that this is a magical being, and yes, magic hurts it, and damage attacks hurt it, but not to the same extent that a magic attack would.
Alright, so...
Other than that, you learn nothing else.
Okay, so I'm gonna then continue to cast Vicious Mockery.
Okay, I believe that has a vocal component, at which point you're currently underwater.
Am I underwater? I'm not.
It's a water elemental that is holding you underwater.
Fine, then I guess I'll fight to get out.
Okay. Give me a strength save then. Oh yeah, you break free. So you're able to kind of fight your way out of the inside to this water elemental. You can climb to the ledge here to kind of get out of this pool and kind of save yourself a little bit if you would like to do so. And you can use all of your movement, I believe. So if you wanted to go up to the 30 feet and you wanted to get away from it, you can also do that.
Can I climb back up to where I was?
Yes, it is 5 feet up from where you are at, so it would cost you 10 feet of movement to do so.
Okay, that's what I'll do.
Okay. All right, so you're able to break free of the water weird. Unfortunately, you were unable to cast Vicious Mockery because you were kind of choking a little bit on the water, at which point you kind of forced yourself out of this water weird and were able to climb back up to where you were at before, and thankfully, still standing. Anything else?
No.
All right. Vormash, you are up.
All right. Let's see. Since this is a water elemental, I'm gonna cast. Let's go with Chill Touch.
13 hits.
All right.
All right.
That's
So you cast Chill Touch. Let me see something. Hold on. Yeah, so you cast Chill Touch, and the skeletal hand ends up grabbing onto this thing from the bottom of the pool here. And as it grabs onto it, you can see it kind of moves and winces in pain, and you can see that it's looking underneath of itself, trying to figure out where the attack is coming from, but it just can't find it.
excellent.
Anything else?
Hey, Belvedere, are you wearing armor?
Sorry?
I'm asking Belvedere if he's wearing any armor.
Yeah, I'm wearing chainmail.
All right, never mind. I end my turn.
All right. With that, Belvedere, you are up.
Still cursing slightly under my breath. I'll take another swing at it.
Alrighty.
Hey, there we go. I
Oh
think.
yeah, that hits. All right, so you come around with your long sword, and as you come through, you can feel the resistance of the blade going through the water elemental, but it doesn't seem like it's really doing a lot of damage to it.
Plus divine favor.
All right,
Oh, I should
so
have consumed extra spells.
yeah, you'll have to create, if you're clicking on it, you'll have to create one that just doesn't, it isn't a spell, it's just in your attack thing.
Yeah.
So that way it'll roll. So, minus. All right. So yeah, as you hit it with your longsword, you see, like I said, the blade goes through it. Kind of, you feel the water kind of clinging to it a little bit, but other than that, it still kind of goes through and exits back out with, very little impact on the elemental itself. Anything else?
I'll just say out loud to the party, I think we need to rethink our strategies here.
No,
I
right.
think we're doing all right.
I think magic is the way to go.
And with that, Slavomir, you are up.
Okay. So I'm going to take my water skin, and as a bonus action, can I empty it out and then try to stick it into the water elemental to take a piece of it?
Yes, but you're gonna have to give me a strength save to prevent from being sucked into the water elemental.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you can do so. So you'll have to move in closer to it, but that will put you. Well, no, you're fine because it has a 10-foot range. So, yeah, you reach in, you take the water skin, and you kind of dip it inside, and you feel the body of this water weird start to pull at you. But you can also feel it kind of filling into the water skin itself. And as you do, you start pulling back and you force your hand back out of it, and you quickly cap it and put it in your pocket or in your backpack.
Actually, can I want to leave it uncapped and then.
Okay.
just dump it out in the corner?
If you move away, it will get an attack of opportunity.
Good call. All right. Then I'll wait till next turn, and then I'll dump it in the corner.
Okay. With that, Water Weird is now going to try to attack Belvedere. Do the same that it's been doing so far in this this battle here. Oh, does a 20 hit?
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna need a strength save, and as this thing attacks, you're wearing a shield, correct?
Yep.
So it sees you and it's kind of focused on everybody. It's trying to get a little bit to everybody, and it looks at you and lunges, and you can see as the mouth of this Water Weird grabs onto your shield and starts pulling you. And as it does, it kind of forces itself to yank you into this pool, doing 8 bludgeoning damage, and I do need a strength save from you. Alright, so unfortunately, you do not save, so it's going to drag you into the water, down into this water pit itself. Give me a Constitution save, please. Okay, one sec. It's also on top of the 8 bludgeoning damage that it does. It is going to also hit you for 4 damage with the Constitution save through the water. The actual poison or the bad crap in the water is going to do a bit of damage to you.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I am not having good luck with water.
You are not. With that, Avalana, you are up.
All right, so now I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery.
All right.
And I'm saying you probably had a fat mama.
Unfortunately, it saves, and you can see as the body of this Water Weird is now pushing to keep Belvedere underwater. You see as the snout and the head of this thing kind of turns in your direction and kind of snarls a little bit, unaffected by your attack here with words.
Can I move without getting an attack of opportunity?
Only if you use your primary action to disengage.
Okay, I'm going to move. Just tell me when I need to stop before I get an attack of opportunity.
Okay, so anything inside of from that corner to where you're at, to where Slavomir's at, and down here in this corner, any of those will be okay. But once you go outside of that is when you're going to need to get out of combat.
All right, I want to be right there, and that would be the end of my turn.
Okay. Vormash, what are you doing?
I'm gonna walk over to Alviana.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna place my hand on her shoulder, and I'm gonna cast Mage Armor.
Okay. So that gives her a little bit of a boost to her AC. Makes her feel a little more stout in combat here. The magical force, as it says, she can kind of feel it as you place your hand on her, and she just feels more powerful. She feels ready to go. Anything else?
That.
All right.
Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
All right. Belvedere, you are underwater and currently grappled. I will need a strength save from you, please. Oh yeah, you break out. You're able to break free of the grapple. You can use your movement to climb the 10 feet, which would be 20 feet of movement, to climb up to here, if you would like to do so.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. You still have a bonus if you would like to use it.
Not so much.
All
There's
right.
much I can usually do with it.
Alrighty. So yeah, as you're able to kind of break free, kind of similar to what everybody else is experiencing, this thing's just trying to drown you guys, and you break free pretty easily, and you're able to climb out of the water to keep from taking any more of that damage from the noxious smell and poisonous water that's down there below. Slavomir, what are you doing?
All right, so if I keep going, this is a 5 foot wall, correct?
Correct. So it's going to take 10 feet of movement for you to get up there.
So now I'm at 20. That'll put me at 30, and
That
I'm
you will need to use your action to break out.
yep.
Yep. Okay.
And so that's my action. That's my movement. And you know what? I look at the party and I just say, I do not see any more water over there, so maybe we should just leave.
And as you say this, you're a chuckling from what you presume to be the ghost that was in the room before, who says, "There's no leaving."
I'm sure that the door's right there.
I agree.
It is now the Water Weird's turn, and once again, being close enough to kind of hit almost everybody here, it is now going to lean in and try to grab onto Vormash, who is trying to kind of hide behind the rest of the party here.
As he would.
As he would. Does a 21 hit?
Yep.
All right, so he manages to kind of sneak in between both of your fellow party members, and is able to grab its maw onto your arm, and you kind of feel this a bit of a pinch on your arm as it pulls, doing 5 bludgeoning damage, and I'm gonna need a strength save, please.
Yep. There
Yep.
it is.
All right. So with that, it's able to yank you forward, pulling you down into this water pit down below. I'm going to need a strength save as well, please. Or a con save, please. Okay. So it's able to pull you into the water. Thankfully, you save yourself from being able to take any of the water, and almost kind of like you expected to go in, so you kind of held your breath and prepared yourself. So you do not take any additional damage, but except for that 5 from the initial pull.
All right, got it.
With that, Avalana, you are up.
All right, I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery again.
All right.
And I'm going to say, all right, maybe your mama wasn't fat, but your dad sure was.
And with that, a little confused, not really making any sense of what you're saying. It kind of, it almost like gives you this look like, what are you talking about? But it still manages to affect it a little bit, and it does take the psychic damage, which goes unimpeded.
And then I will hide a little bit behind my comrades because I am hurt. And then that'll be my turn.
Alrighty. Vormash, you are underwater and down the pit here. Also, don't forget, Vormash, actually everybody in the party still has their Bardic Inspiration as well. So don't forget you can use that if you need to on attacks. Vormash, you're underwater. Would you like to break free of this monster?
I'm gonna stick with it and cast Chill Touch again.
Alrighty, I'm going to need a Constitution save from you. Okay,
Yeah.
yep, you saved. Good job. Go ahead and give me that Chill Touch. Oh yeah, that hits.
All right.
Yeah, good damage. Yeah, so you're able to, and let me make sure, Chill Touch is Chill Touch something that has a vocal component?
Yeah.
It might not be able to be cast then, because you are technically underwater. Yeah, you know what? I'll go ahead and give it to you only because you did save. So because you did the con save, you'll be fine. But it's, yeah. So yeah, you cast Chill Touch. Once again, the hand comes up from the ground here and kind of grabs onto the bottom of this water elemental, and does a considerable amount of damage to it.
And that's my turn.
All right, so you guys witness this thing is looking pretty rough here. Belvedere, you are up.
Go for a sword attack.
Alrighty. Yep, that hits.
I'm going. Nah, I'm just normal attack for now. Not gonna use Divine Smite yet.
Okay. All right, so yeah, you come around, and this is one-handed, correct? Because you're still holding your spell, correct? Or
Yeah.
your shield. Yeah, so you come around with your long sword, give it a nice little jab. It does a little bit of damage, but once again, kind of like before, once you see the sword go through, it just kind of pulls through it. Feel a little bit of resistance, water resistance as it pulls through, but you're unable to actually do really a lot to it. Anything else?
Well, we can't use lay on hands as a bonus action, can I?
No, I think that's an action.
I figured. That'll be it.
Let's see. Yep, it's an action. All right, so with that, Slavomir, you are up.
Alright. I'm clicking.
You there, Slavomir?
Yep, and I'll swing at it with my greatsword, and I'll use that bardic inspiration.
Alrighty. Oh, you don't even need it for the attack. You're good. It lands. Give me some damage. Oh, yeah. So you come in with your great sword and bring this thing down. You can see it lands perfect, but kind of similar to Belvedere. You see the blade go through, feel the resistance, you feel it coming through, but it doesn't feel like it would hit as hard as it normally would in that kind of situation.
Also, +2 for rage.
Yep.
Okay,
Alright.
and then I think they'll do it. With a bonus action, can I smell the bottle of elemental that I have?
Sure. It smells awful and makes you kind of sick to your stomach. Give me a con save.
Oof.
So as you take a big whiff of this thing, you notice that the noxious fumes just fill your nose and make you cough and kind of send you into a bit of a coughing fit, and you take 1 damage from this thing.
Okay.
Strong stuff.
It's some pretty strong stuff. The water weird, perfectly content, holding Vormash underwater. Vormash, I'm going to need you to give me another con save, please.
Alright. You got it. 14.
Yep, you save. All right, so it's holding you there. You're still able to hold your breath. You're not going to be able to do so for very much longer, but you're able to hold your breath for now. Avalana, you're up.
All right, I am gonna do the only thing I know how to do, and that is vicious mockery. I can do it forever.
Yes, you can.
So, I'm going to say, bad dog, drop my friend. Bad, drop it now.
And it looks at you and kind of shakes its head. It's like, not really one to cooperate, but you can see it's like kind of shrieking or pulling a little bit away from you as it does go ahead and take the psychic damage.
I'm just going for full, like, confusion torture.
Very
Anything
powerful
else?
words.
Very powerful words.
I gurgle good one.
Vormash, what are you doing?
I'm gonna try and break out.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a strength save.
Remember your bardic inspiration if you need it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna need it for this.
Oh yeah, you break out. You're good. So you break out, you're able to climb 10 feet up, so it's going to be 20 feet of your movement, and that'll allow you to get here. And you are now free of the water elemental and the poisonous water below. Anything else?
That was my action, right?
Yes, it was.
Alright, yeah, then that's my turn then.
Alrighty. Belvedere, you're up.
This thing look like it's almost dead yet?
Oh yeah, it's looking pretty rough. You feel a few more good hits, and you might be able to drop this thing.
Then just keep on hacking.
All right. All right, yeah, 15 hits. So as you're coming around here, once again, you're just kind of going to town with this long sword here, and you're just back and forth, hitting it over and over and over again, just trying to hack it down as quickly as you can. Doing a considerable amount of damage to it. It's not really got a lot left. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Slavomir, it is your turn.
And bardic inspiration.
1d6. Did it roll? There it goes. What is this? Unfortunately, even with the inspiration of your group mate, Avalana, you come in with this great sword, and as Belvedere hits it with his long sword, it kind of recoils a little bit, and as it pulls back, you decide you're going to try to bring your great sword down on it. And as you do so, it misses just a little wide, unable to connect with it.
Okay. Yeah, that completes my turn.
Okay, with that, the water elemental is once again going to try to grab Slavomir and pull him in. Oh, but it crit fails, so as it leans in to go and grab Slavomir, it misses entirely, and it almost kind of like what Slavomir did when it came down with his great sword. It kind of underestimates or misjudges the distance as it comes in to kind of snap at him. just stops a little bit short and isn't able to connect. Avalana, you are up.
I'm going to change it up. I'm going to throw a dagger at it.
Okay. Oh, it does not hit. So as you throw this dagger, it's going to go right past this thing and is actually going to land back here in the back of the room.
Can I keep a mental note so I can pick it up later?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm like concentrating really hard on where it landed.
All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's my turn.
All right. Vormash, you are up.
All right, cool. I'm gonna go for a chill touch.
All right.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. So you're going to go to cast it and still kind of getting your wits about you after being underwater for so long. You go to summon the hand to come up and grab onto this thing. Kind of cough up a little bit of water in the process, and it's unable to actually...
Wait. Can I use my bardic inspiration?
I will give it to you. Go ahead and give me the roll. 1d6. Still unable to complete it though.
Alright, cool.
So yeah, you go to summon this hand up to grab on to this water elemental, and it actually just, like I said, you kind of cough up a little bit of water, and the spell, as it's starting to form, it just kind of fizzles out and is unable to complete itself.
Alright, that's my turn.
All right, Belvedere, you are up.
Alright. Another long sword attack.
Do it. Oh yeah, that hits. Nice. Nice. Tell me how you just defeated your first water elemental.
Woot. I go first for a thrust in it, just like straight thrust, and then as I channel the divine favor into it, as I go down and cut it, swath like down in long ways.
Nice. So as you bring this your long sword down, just a powerful hit. You see as it splits the head of this thing, and it kind of recoils and falls back, making almost a shrieking sound that echoes through the halls here. And you watch as the water dissipates and falls into the pool, and there's nothing left.
I hate water.
I'm gonna go
Too
rush
much of it.
to where my dagger was, and I'm gonna try to find it.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. You guys are no longer in combat, so you are free to move about as you choose.
Who's worse for wear?
Yep, you're able to find it. It is located right here on this little platform right in front of you.
Got it.
Got it.
And I'm very injured, to whoever asked.
I would be the
But
paladin.
we could take like a short rest, couldn't we? And use our hit dice?
No. I mean, you can, but this place has a ghost that's still around that could still harm you, so technically you couldn't short rest here.
Oh, I thought the ghost was the elemental.
Oh no. So
no.
and as the party kind of pulls itself together and, you know, thankful that this water elemental is dead, and kind of grab your stuff and start to head out of the chamber, once again this ghost speaks up and says, "Do you think this is over? You guys are nowhere close to being finished."
I can reply back. I'll finish this right now. If you really want to, Ghost.
I just like I tell Belvedere, well, let's not get crazy. Let's not do that just yet.
And I'll use 5 points of lay on hands on myself and
Okay.
Ivana.
All right. So you gave five points of healing to yourself and Avalana. So Avalana had 5 hit points back. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna pick that torch back up that Belvedere dropped.
Okay. And
I'm gonna say to the ghost, I'm gonna be like, hey, we're gonna like be out, but we may come back. So like you can try to kill us later. So see ya.
And the ghost chuckles as Slavomir enters into its room. Doesn't say anything, just laughs, almost mockingly.
And since he took my torch, I'll throw another torch, I guess.
You'll get this back, probably.
It's fine, I got plenty of torches.
Alright. Well, by the way, I'll be on that major last 8
You can't.
hours.
So if you go past this ghost, it is going to attack you.
Oh, we're back in combat?
Not yet. But if you go past this ghost, it is going to attack you.
Okay, ghost. What's your name?
Well, that is a very good question.
Haven't I already told you? My name is Tyris. I'm the god of these lands.
You did not tell us, or I would have made a note of it. And
No,
I
you
asked
told
you
me.
if you were Tyris last time, and you wouldn't answer me. Okay, Tyris, do you want to put it back on the table? The I follow you, and you just let us go type thing?
Do you think killing a silly water elemental really does anything?
We'll just kill everything you throw at us. And then we'll just get the council, and they're gonna just deal with you.
Avalana, give me a wisdom save, please.
Oh no.
So as you're talking, this ghost looks at you, kind of stern look, and says, "Grovel, peasant." At which point you immediately drop to your knees and look down at the floor, unable to move. And it looks at your party and says, "This is nothing compared to what I can do to each and every one of you. You will stay out of my way, and you will not prevent me from taking over these lands. If you do interfere, I will see to it that your death is swift and very painful."
I don't understand. So swift or painful?
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we'll see each other again in the future. But your water elemental is a bitch.
Heed my words. If you continue to protect the king, your death will be on his hands.
I'm gonna step forward in front of everybody, up to the ghost, and ask exactly what is it? What is your problem with the king?
All right, so as you step forward, the ghost once again is going to use command, and give me a wisdom save, please. Yeah, so you're fortunately able to resist as this ghost once again commands you this time to grovel, and you're just not having it. So knowing that now you're standing up to it, it looks at you very stern and says, "My problem is a false leader over these lands. Nobody gave him the right to rule over these people. These are my people. I will not have this man pretending to play God over my people command them one by one and tell them how to live their lives.
what exactly gives you the right over him or anyone else?
Because I am a god, and he is but a human, a lonely, or a lowly, pathetic human.
To be fair, we're capable of more than you give us credit for.
Give me a wisdom save.
I'd like to see you try.
Dungeon Master.
Yep.
Can I do like a history check or like a religion check or something? Preferably history on like, have I ever heard of this god before? Like a Tyris god or something like that?
You can give me a history check. Vormash. So as you say that, this ghost looks at you, its eyes peering straight at you, and says, "Silence." And immediately, you feel as though every time you go to speak, you can't say anything. With your history check, you're able to figure out that this is a god of the people of the Gladamain themselves. Though he's not technically a god, he was a high elf who kind of, to them, ascended. He was the initial founder of the Gladamain tribe, and once he established rule, he led for many, many years with no issues, and then when he passed, the tribe was handed over to his wife, who led for years, but then it instantly turned into a monarchy where the women took over control of the tribes themselves.
Okay, so can I talk? Do I have the ability to talk?
You do. Give me a wisdom save to see if you can stand up, though.
Can I just stay nil and talk, though?
Sure, yeah, if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to stay nil and talk to the ghost. I'm going to say, Tyris, I know who you are. I remember now. You're not a god. You're just a wannabe god. You're a god to your family, but not to the rest of the world. And you're no longer important to your family.
And with that, the god, sneering a little bit, says, "How dare you insult me? Who do you think I am? Do you think I am a nobody? Let me explain
Literally,
something."
I never heard of you until your great-grandchildren were like, have you never heard of Tyris Gladamain? And I was like, hey, I've never heard of Gladamain until today.
Can I use my divine sense to see if this actually is some sort of apparition, like undead or otherwise, or if there's any sort of like shenanigans going about?
Sure. Go ahead and give me your divine sense. Take your divine sense away, and at which point you realize that this is not registering anything to you. Behind you, back in the other room, the fumes and the putridness of the puddle or the water behind you had a very heavy impact on you, because it was very evil indeed, but you sense nothing off of this thing.
So at least his claims are true that he's not this is something more than just a ghost, then. That's what I'm gathering.
Yeah, so from your divine sense, you're gathering that this being, it's here, but it's not that ghost. This is a projection very similar to what you saw up on top of the building.
I'm not getting touches of celestial or fiend either.
Nope, you're not. Nothing within your 60-foot radius would give you such feelings. And with that, the ghost looks back over the party and says, 14 days, little children. 14 days, and I will prove once again that these are my lands. Your king will fall, and I will take back what is mine.
Warmus just flicks them off.
I say Storm King forever, bitch.
And with that, the ghost disappears into nothingness.
I've decided, guys, that he is my enemy. He's my nemesis, and he must die.
Tyris is now your nemesis.
Can I speak at this point?
Yeah, oh yeah. He's released his grasp on you guys, and you are now free to do what you would like.
Something's just not. Doesn't quite add up about it.
I agree, but I also consider this a victory.
Would I know that, like, specifically if it was actually like a divine projection of some sort of god, like, wouldn't I get some sort of wouldn't that still trigger my divine sense to some degree?
You would, if that's what that was.
So it's something else entirely then.
Can I explain what I know? That he's not like really a god. He's just like a spirit that they believe ascended.
Sure. So yeah, as you turn to the party and you go to discuss this, and you explain that in your research of the realm and what you have gathered from within this tomb here, he was a very prestigious individual within the Gladamain tribe. Somebody who they revered as a god, even though he was just a high elf. He was nothing really special, except that he was a great leader, and that kind of doesn't sit well with you because the projection of what you're getting from him doesn't show him as a leader, but almost a tyrant.
I'm willing to bet that's not actually him at all. It's someone's playing with some real shenanigans going on.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, whatever it is, it's like evil.
It's not even necessarily evil. I'm literally back there, that water, that's evil. Whatever that was is nothing besides a part of their trick.
Well, I mean, like, its intentions are evil. That's what I
Fair
meant.
enough.
All right.
Yes, I agree. The intentions behind this are most certainly heinous.
What would you guys like to do?
Might be more
First-
clues in this shrine, possibly.
I want to propose that maybe one of us like goes to like maybe. How about I propose? Okay. I'm gonna say I want to go and tell the ladies of the council what we found.
Okay. So you mentioned to the party that you would like to go back to the Gladamain High Council, kind of tell them everything that transpired here, and kind of get some feedback from them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. I think we're done
Is this the High Council next to the bar?
here.
Yes, it is.
my friend.
Okay, I will go to the bar.
That's the spirit, and I give him a pat on the shoulder.
So as Slavomir walks back and walks into this room, to his left, over in this direction, he hears a click and the sound of a creaking door to the right-hand side. Or his left-hand side.
Slavomir?
Slavomir, yes.
You mean like on this side?
Your left, Slavomir's left, so if you're going south, it's on this side here. Can you guys see my pings when I do that? Probably not. Is it here? Yeah, that one will work. The other door, so to your east. Yep.
Okay, and I also have danger sense.
Mm-hmm. And look,
So I'm gonna go through the door, I guess, and hope for the best. And I have advantage on dexterity saving throws if it's a trap.
Yep. So you turn the handle here and you push forward, and you don't sense anything negative here. You just kind of come around the corner a little bit and see another hallway with a sarcophagus at the end. 1 second.
I have found another hallway with a sarcophagus at the end.
Oh, really?
All right. So as you walk away from the Water Weird's lair, you hear the sound of the door opening to your left. The passage, previously locked from any intruders, now open for you to explore. At the end of the hallway itself, the sarcophagus, very ornate, very fancy looking, lays at the end. The lid closed and appears to be in almost new condition.
Does it say Tyris anywhere?
Give me an investigation check.
Also, I can do at this point another divine sense. I think it's in order.
Okay. Your investigation yields nothing. You see a nice marble tomb with a lid on it.
I just tell everyone how pretty it is in here and that this is what I want my tomb to look like.
All right. Belvedere used his divine sense and senses nothing in front of you.
I'm going to investigate it as well.
All right. Yeah, so as you take a look at this sarcophagus, you notice that the lid on it doesn't seem to be sealed. It just seems to be setting in place. And could probably be lifted off with a couple of you attempting to move it if you would like to do so.
Well, not only is it pretty, it looks like the top of this is it hasn't been sealed yet. So one of you strongmen that isn't me, try and lift this up.
All right, so I'll take my my yikwa and I'll use that as a shiv and try and dislodge it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a. Oh yeah. So without any trouble whatsoever, you're able to kind of pry it underneath of this lid, and as you open it, notice that there is a bunch of treasure in here.
This is mine, correct?
So, as you open this sarcophagus and you're looking around, you notice that there are 2 potions of healing, a great sword, though has a bit of magic to it. You might want to get it investigated. A cloak, similarly, with a bit of magic attached to it. You also find 263 gold pieces, 57 silver pieces, and a singular gold coin that stands out and doesn't look like the rest of them.
All right. Can I do a knowledge arcana on the cloak?
Sure. Give me an arcana check. Oh yeah, so you're looking at this cloak and you can see that it is... Let me see if I have it in here. No, I do not. It is a cloak of many fashions. The cloak of many fashions, when you put it on, allows you to look as if you're dressed in any kind of clothing whatsoever. Anything you choose. It doesn't... it could be really fancy. It could be rags. Anything.
Oh, but I want it too. All right.
Can I do an arcana check on the sword? Just
yeah, go ahead and give me an arcana check.
I would like this sword.
From your arcana check, and you spend a little bit of time looking at this, you can feel that it's infused with power, as if the wielder of it would be a little more adept at hitting targets, and find that it is a +1 greatsword.
Hey guys, this is a +1 greatsword, whatever that means.
Ooh, okay, I take.
Yeah, you can have that.
It's all yours, my friend.
If
For
we divided
Vormash, one sec. Vormash, give me perception check, please.
All right, you got it. $15.
All right, so as you're looking over this pile of loot in front of you, you notice a singular gold coin kind of stands out to you, and you reach down and you grab it, and as you pick it up and look at it, you remember that the king had sent you something that looks very similar to it.
Whoa, the 2 coins are similar. All right, I'm keeping this. These are mine. Listen, we're going to talk about the cloak later, but for now, let's focus on splitting up the rest of this gold.
I already did the math. If we split, the gold would be 65 pieces each, with one person getting 66.
Hey, Spinach, how you doing, man?
All right, sounds good.
And for the silver, everyone would get 14 pieces.
All right, 14 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, how much gold?
It would be 65, with one person getting 66.
All right.
Sounds good.
So, yeah, and I will get you the details on the cloak. I forgot to add that into my list here. But yeah, that's basically what it does, is it allows you to change your appearance or the clothing that you're wearing at any given time.
All right.
All right. What would you guys like to do?
So who's going to hold on to the cloak for now?
You can hold on to it for now, since you were the one that identified it.
That seems fair. All right. Thank you very much. All right, let's leave.
I'm gonna take those 2 potions and hold on to them for now.
Alrighty.
And you can have the extra gold piece since you took the time to do the math.
Okay.
65 otherwise or 66 for the extra.
Yep, that's correct.
So, is our plan to go talk to the council ladies?
Let's do it. All right, let's start walking out of here.
Is there anywhere in this temple we haven't explored yet?
Yes, I believe the door over here has not been explored. That's the only thing left.
Well, we couldn't figure out how to open it, I think is the thing.
That was the door over here. The other door that you guys just went into, that's the one you couldn't figure out.
Oh, okay,
All
gotcha.
right. In that case, I'll open the door.
Okay, so you reach down and grab the handle and pull it open to reveal an open tomb. And as you get in close, I'm gonna need you guys to roll initiative, please.
Cool.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
All right, I'm on the initiative.
Fortunately, it didn't roll too well either. All right, so Belvedere, even though the party was the first to go in, your divine sense as you started moving towards this room started to tip you off that something felt a little off, and gave you kind of the jump on this white inside the room.
Well, this thing is going to go down. Can I move off to just above it? Will that be sufficient enough space for me to stand there?
Up there, yeah, I'll go ahead and give you that movement. You should be able to do that. Kind of move Avalana a little bit out of the way so you can get to that corner, and you should be able to attack from there.
What are we looking at, by the way?
You are looking at... Hold on. A white. It's an undead creature. Even though they give all of the details of it below. Which kind of sucks.
That's terrifying.
It is very ugly.
Is my 14 sufficient to hit?
One sec. Sorry, I'm trying to get the stupid thing. All right. So yeah, let me see. Yep, 14 hits.
I'm going to use Divine Smite.
Alrighty. Alright, so instantly, right off the bat, you come around with your long sword, and using your Divine Smite, kind of feeling the power of... I believe you follow Tyr, correct?
Yes, sir.
So as you feel the power of Tyr start to fill you with a bit of radiance, you come around and you give him a nice hit with this longsword, and as it hits, you feel it just connects instantly, and this thing kind of is sent reeling a bit and takes considerable amount of damage.
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked. Anything else?
Nope, that's it for this one. That's all my spells for now, too.
All right. So with that, the white's going to take a look at you and is going to attack twice with his longsword. Does a 19 hit?
That's just barely hits.
Just barely hits. What about a 9?
Nope.
All right. So with the first attack of the longsword, he comes around, gives you a nice little slash across the chest, and you feel the sword kind of break through the armor a little bit. Does 9 slashing damage as it lands.
Ouch.
Yeah. And I believe, let me check. Okay, yeah, and that's going to be it for that. Alana, you're up.
All right, I'm gonna sickle it.
Alrighty.
I don't think it hits.
Nope. Unfortunately, a 6 does not hit.
All right, that's my turn.
Alright. So you come around with the sickle, try to land it on this white, but the white's movement's a little too fast for you, and it's able to kind of dodge out of the way and not take any damage. Slavomir, you're up.
Alright, rage.
Alright. You are now raging, sir.
And reckless attack.
Alright. great sword, huh? Is this your new weapon?
It is.
You would get a +1 to attack, so your attack would be a +6 instead of a +5.
Oh, I thought it was a +1 damage. All right.
Nope, it is a +1 to attack.
Okay.
Standard plus.
I'll switch that here after
Okay,
this turn.
yeah, that's fine. But either way, 16 hits, so go ahead and give me some damage. So yeah, you come around with this great sword, and as you swing it, you're able to hit it as this white has its attention turned to Belvedere. You're able to slice it right across the back, doing considerable amount of damage to it.
And then don't forget the +2 for rage.
Yep.
And that'll end my turn.
Alrighty, Vormash, you're up.
Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and chill touch this white. At 20.
Holy crap! So
Alright.
yeah, that's definitely gonna hit. Give me some damage.
Oh. That's 10 damage. Or 11 damage.
One second. Okay, yep. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't like previous versions of the game. And if you use necrotic damage, it make sure it didn't heal it. So yeah, as you cast this, the hand reaches up and grabs a hold of the leg of this white. And it's like spot on. It grabs onto it, and the claws of this hand dig into the leg of this thing and starts to pierce it a bit, doing a big chunk of damage to it.
Also, since it's undead, my chill touch gives it disadvantage on its next attack.
Alrighty. Anything else?
No, that's it. That's my turn.
Belvedere, you are up.
Another longsword attack.
Another longsword. Uh, 18 hits. Oh yeah, go ahead and give me your divine too, because that's still active, right? Should be active for what, a minute?
Oh,
I think.
divine favor.
No, divine smite's only a 1 use per attack, right?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
that's just for that attack.
Yeah,
So it's
your
just
favor's
normal
already
attacks.
down. So yeah, you come around with this with your longsword. Once again, you jab it into this thing this time, and you feel it as the sword actually pierces through the left shoulder of this this undead white, and the end of it sticks through, and actually Slavomir on the other side can see it push through, and it's getting a little closer than he would like. But then you withdraw the sword and prepare yourself for your next attack. However, it is the white's turn, and it has opted to use life drain on Avalana. Does a 20 hit?
Yeah.
Give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Was that with disadvantage?
Oh no. So with disadvantage, it does miss. You are correct. Thank you for that. I forgot all about that. So yeah, it goes to use life drain, and as it kind of looks over and reaches over to it, to Avalana, it's not able to actually connect with this attack, and doesn't do anything to her. However, it will use its other attack to longsword in her direction as well, but a 6 also misses. So as it swings with the longsword, misses entirely, and Avalana gets away without taking any damage. And she's up.
All right, I'm going to try to use my sickle again.
Okay. Oh yeah, that hits. All right, anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right, so yeah, you come around with the sickle. You kind of dodge out of the two attacks, or away from the two attacks of this white that's in front of you, and you're able to come around with your sickle and kind of slash it right across the gut, doing a nice little chunk of damage to it. Slavomir, you are up.
And another relentless attack.
All right. Oh, yeah. Tell me how you killed this white in front of you.
Okay, so I slash from the top to the bottom all the way until I meet Belvedere's longsword on the other side, and all you hear is a little chink as I touch that, splitting the white in half.
Nice. So yeah, the white falls to the ground, split in half. Kind of blood and guts spill out everywhere. It smells terrible. You can tell it's been dead for quite some time. And on the body falls a little pouch. Let me see what this thing had on it. Oh, gotta pull up my notes because it's not on this. Hold on a sec. So on the pouch, as the body collapses to the ground, you see the pouch that kind of falls off of its hip, and in the pouch is only 10 gold pieces.
One of you guys can have that.
Slavomir, you could have it. You killed him.
Okay, I will take.
Or drinking money.
Can I investigate this room anymore?
Sure, give me a perception check.
There it is.
So yeah,
That's
yep, you look around the room, you see the collapsed body of this white and the sarcophagus that it was once laying inside of, which is now crumbled as if somebody was trying to awaken this thing. On the north and south end of the room, you do see two chests. The chests look very ornate, almost as if they were like chests where you could like pay a tribute to somebody by putting like valuables inside of and things like that.
Oh. All right,
Let's open them up.
Yeah, I'll open this one in front of me.
All right, so you go ahead and open those, and unfortunately, there's nothing in them. They are completely empty.
Oh no.
Oh no. All right, so you head back to the main room here. As mentioned before, Marielle was outside. Her and the guards were taking care of some undead, which had spawned and started to attack. So to protect you guys and keep you from having to deal with it, she has closed you guys off inside of this chamber.
So I knock on the door.
Okay. Everybody,
Hello?
everybody, go ahead and give me a perception check.
I'm just focused on the cloak.
So Belvedere's, as the party is looking around, and even Slavomir, you're kind of looking around, you're feeling around the edges where you know the door was. You're not able to find anything, unfortunately. Mariel, on the other side, suddenly opens the door again, and you're able to... one second, let me move that door for you. You're able to see she is waiting on the other side and is kind of relieved that you guys are coming out. And as you walk out, through the rumble of the door as it opens up, she looks back at you guys and a bit of a smirk on her face and says, I had a good feeling about you guys when you arrived in Colito. I didn't know my intuition would be validated quite as quickly as it has been. I must say, you're very good at what you do. And the skies...
Okay. I interrupt her.
Mm-hmm.
I just full on interrupt her. I don't care.
Yes, I agree.
I just like, thanks for all the praises, but your like great grandfather or whatever is evil.
And where is the bar?
My socks are very wet.
She looks around and she's like, great grandfather, bar? Hold on, wait a second. What do you mean, my great grandfather?
Like Tyris or whatever. Are you not related to him or something? I don't know. I can't remember.
And she stops and she's like, wait, you saw Tyris inside?
Well, he said he was Tyris, and he called himself a god, and he wants to kill the king, and like everyone else.
She obviously
14
is.
days.
She's not at all happy about this. This is very troubling to her, and she starts stuttering and stumbling around and looking, and she stops, and her hand covers her mouth, and she's like, that must explain what the apparition was doing. And the undead, when they attacked, we didn't even know where they came from, and now they're just gone? And what else did you see? What else is going on? What is going on in my city?
He was pretty adamant that it was his city, by the way.
Yeah, and your guess is as good as ours. We're still unclear on what he's planning.
And I just silently hand her the water skin.
She takes it and looks, and she's like, what is this?
I don't know. It was in your city.
There's a pool of like literal evil water in the back. Just heads up.
She nods and says, okay, alright, well, look, I know you guys have a lot to do, and your journey is just beginning, but please, stay around just a little longer. I would like to show you some gratitude for all you've done for us today.
Can I grab her hand?
Sure.
And I want to grab her hand and say, I will not stop until this evil ghost god is dead, because he is now my nemesis. Forever, until I am dead. And then I just let go of her hand.
And she nods and she's like, if this truly is Tyris, this is not like him. I don't understand why he would come back. Of all times now to attack our city? None of this makes sense.
I'll pipe in and say, for whatever it's worth, I don't think it's actually Tyris.
She nods and says, well, thank you. I hope that this is not the case. I hope that our leader, Tyris, was nothing to do with this. But at this time, we just don't know.
Exactly. So let's not throw away any possibilities yet.
I completely agree.
And she nods and says, well, in any case, would you guys please stay tonight and allow us to celebrate your victory over this ghost and these fiends within this temple?
Yes, that would be lovely.
Rest
That
up,
would be
feel
awesome.
better, yeah.
And
Yes.
over drinks?
Oh,
definitely.
absolutely. I would have it no other way, sir.
Yes, I would not like to remember today.
And with
I just thought of something.
Yep.
Should we like maybe send the king a letter that there's like this ghost that like wants him dead really badly?
Well, you guys are headed to meet the king. That's like your objective. You are going to meet the king. So your next opportunity, obviously, will be to head out and try to make your way to the king.
Okay.
So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys long rest here. we are going to take a short break. You guys can start shopping and gather supplies and things that you needed. I know you guys wanted to do that before, but because of everything that was going on, you had to kind of rush to the temple. So you're able to go around and do some shopping. I will drag you guys over to here so you can just see the map and see where everything is. Not that it really changes anything because you're not individual characters here. So if there's anything specific that you want to pick up, weaponry or gear or potions or whatever, you're more than welcome to do that now while you're in the city. And then when we come back from break, we will do the little ceremony thing that Mariel has for you guys.
Is there like a button to push to like have a short rest done?
No, you would just click to fix all of your items. So add your spells back, add your available spell slots back, and any feats and stuff or features that you have, you can add that in manually.
What do you think this is, D&D Beyond? Jeez.
Yeah, it's not Beyond. You can't just one click everything. So yeah, feel free to take your long rest here, and we will take a 5-minute break and return and finish up this part of your travels here through Toledo.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah, me too.
All right, and with that, we are going to take our break here. I will be back here in just a minute. I really hope you guys are enjoying. I know it's a bunch of story and stuff like that. Some combat mixed in, but hopefully you guys are enjoying. But we'll be back in just a minute.
What do you think?
Of the bracers, yeah,
Alright.
they're
We are
pretty
back.
good. I mean,
Finishing our
I mean,
break
they
here.
didn't really help against that water elemental, but they're pretty neat. I like it.
Yeah, but I think you have too small of arms for him. I think that's what's going on there.
Oh yeah.
Did the bracers require attunement?
It says as long as you're not wearing armor, they should work.
Oh no, it says it requires attunement.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
it does.
I'm returned.
Welcome back. All right, so, and we're going to say that anything that you guys need to purchase, we'll take care of at the end of the stream. That way we're not taking away from everything else that's going on. There should not be combat between here and where you are going. So anything that goes on in like the shops and things like that, we'll say you guys handle off screen.
Okay.
Works for me.
So let's see what I have here. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna share this with you guys. The remainder of the day has passed, and as nightfall hits Toledo, the Gladiman Council play host to their brand new guests, and many people showed to share their thanks for at this impromptu celebration at the Temple of Swords, which is all the way over to the far right side of the map here. Mariel orders some of the best food and drink options from around Clycare. The people of the town all stick around enjoying the festivities. Avalana, ever the storyteller, recalls the events of the shrine as the children of the town gather around to listen in wonderment to the adventure. The ale is bountiful and flows without end, and Slavomir endures it all, finding drinking buddies throughout the night who continue to bring drink after drink to him. Belvedere, due to his more noble position, spends most of the evening just enjoying the festivities, though speaking mostly with the other paladins and knights of his adventures, not really participating with the drinking endeavors, so to speak. Vormash, however, spends most of his evening in contemplation. He sits at the table where his party began the night, glances down at this gold coin that he's found from within the chamber, comparing it to the one that he was given by the king, then referring to his notes a bit. As he does so, Mariel walks up to the front of the table and glances down at his work. She says, "You said you were called back here by the king, is that correct?"
Yes, that is correct. He sent me down personally because of my incomparable skill.
Comparable skill. These incomparable skills of yours, do they have anything to do with those coins that you're looking upon?
Yes, I'm currently trying to figure out what these coins are and if they have any significant purpose towards our situation.
I see. You know, the king, he's a good man. Cares much for our mother, but people of the Isles have kind of put him in a bad place. Actually, I want to change the music here, because that's battle music, and I don't want battle
this is one
music.
intense conversation.
Yeah. Stop. Let's see what we can get here. There we go. She kind of watches, and as she's speaking to you, she says, he hasn't quite been the same since the battle with the Peridris family. He's just not forgiving anymore. But her mother, she keeps him pointed in the right path. The Queen used to do that for him. so kind of make sure that he doesn't lose his focus, I guess.
I see. And how's he doing? How's he doing now? Have you spoken to him recently?
I haven't spoken to him, but I know my brother has. I often wonder kind of what will happen kind of with our mother and with us when all of this ends. She doesn't really desire to rule the empire like the king and queen did. She's much more comfortable with being here. Yet, the king would have her no other place. He seems very content with her guidance. I don't know if he can do it without her, though.
Well, I can relate, you know. Before all this, I had a pretty comfortable lifestyle as well, and I wasn't sure if I was ready for all of this either. But in my opinion, I believe if you can if obtaining more power and more knowledge means you have to do a few things you're not comfortable with, then I think it's worth it. If in the end you're better than how you started.
And the conversation continues between Mariel and Vormesh, but her eyes are kind of wandering the room, looking, surveying, trying to find somebody. As she looks around, she recognizes a face in the crowd, stopping Vormesh for a moment and excusing herself from the table, only to return with another half-elf, a young man by elvish standards, around 30 years of age. Very pale complexion, fair-haired, and almost midnight blue eyes, his clothing giving the outward appearance of a commoner, though very well kept and well maintained. His ears are noticeably round, as you would come to expect of a half-elf, instead of the typical pointy shape that you would see with high elves. She walks back and introduces this man to Vormesh and says, "I've been looking for him all night, Sir Edry. I would like to introduce you to my brother Kai Gladamain. He will be accompanying you to Stormholm Keep, so that you can meet the king. Kai knows the journey well. He travels back and forth from the keep to Kalido since he was a young boy, being that he's the king's son and all."
I close my book and put my research to the side. I stand up and I go over to shake his hand. I go, Vormish Edry, former scholar.
And Kai looks at you and bows his head in respect towards you. Doesn't really say anything, though. Kind of letting his sister do all the work. She says, "So you guys will be heading out in the morning, is that correct?"
Yes, that is correct. That is if the rest of my companions are awake.
She laughs and says, "Oh, I don't think that'll be any trouble." And she starts to walk away, leaving Kai there with Vormesh. And as the two continue to talk, Vormesh is able to kind of gather a little information about Kai. Kai is the son of Lady Gladamain and the king. Though they had this child before the king was married to the queen and before her assassination, kind of out of wedlock and before any of the things that are going on now ever took place. When the queen died and Lady Gladamain moved to the keep, Kai joined her, being the son of both of them, and has made his home there, but spends a lot of time between the two cities. Again, because of the way that the society is structured, the men, even if they were in a position of power, really hold no power within their monarchy. Power will always be passed down from female to female, and it's been that way since long before even his mother was born. Is there anything specific you would like to ask towards Kai before we continue?
I asked him, how familiar are you with this city?
With this city?
Yes.
I'm very familiar. I mean, I spent half of my time here and half of it in the keep.
Yes, well, have you heard of any shops being robbed recently?
No. I know there was a pretty big ordeal with my dad. He found somebody that had robbed a place. But beyond that, no.
Do you know the name of this place?
Oh, it was just a vendor in the market. It was nobody. It wasn't like a big shop. It was just almost like a fruit stand kind of thing. It was very small.
I see. Well, yes, that should help me. And I gesture to one of the waiters to bring 2 more drinks, and I go, well, seeing as we're here, seeing as we're here for the night, and tomorrow we'll see the king. Why don't we partake in some of the festivities here?
And Kai quietly and meekly nods and says, "Yes, I would enjoy that. Thank you." So, at the height of the festivities, Mariel, walking around talking with everybody, approaches the podium at the front, bringing her glass and a small knife. She stands there and slightly taps a bit on it, bringing attention to herself from all of the attendees. She looks over the congregation of people and notices, kind of like you guys do, they come from all walks of life. These are commoners. These are people that live in the slums. These are nobles. Everybody standing shoulder to shoulder, and everybody gets along. It's a quiet and happy place to live, so to speak. This makes her very proud of what her and her family have accomplished, and she looks down at her glass and says, the people of Kalito are very honored and thankful for our newfound friends here. They knew nothing of our people, of our triumphs, and of our struggles. They only knew that our city was in trouble, and yet that was enough for them to come to our aid and protect us from this unknown evil which attacked our city. While I'm thankful for everyone who has come into our lives, and our nations face very difficult days ahead, the Alliance, of course, is planning to once again step between the king and our people. Silence kind of falls over the crowd, and a bit of mumbling and whispering. It's almost as if the people here were unaware that there was a conflict between themselves and anybody else. Mariel nods a bit and says, "War may be upon us, and soon it may be at our doorstep, but I'm not afraid of what that might bring. Our people are resilient. We are headstrong. And always in the face of diversity do we end up standing strong. And with our new people and our new friends, we might just have what it takes to defend these lands from the would-be usurpers. But with that, I don't know that Kalito is ready to fight." She looks around the room, stopping for a moment, and then glancing over in Vormash's direction and speaks again and says, "Sir Edry, your skills are what brought you here to Clycair, and on behalf of the king, I'm certain that you are very capable. And it will be your knowledge of these lands and of magic and of all the things that may help our people to prepare us for the upcoming war. We ask that you go to the king. We ask that you tell him he obviously has the full support of Kalito. Though I doubt there was ever any real question to that. Our men will fight for the Empire, and you will take their command. But only when the king finds you capable of commanding them. Do you accept this task?
When Warmish heard you will command them, he kind of chokes on his drink a bit and then kind of wipes his mouth a bit and goes, I'd be honored to accept this task.
And Mariel nods and raises her glass and says, then it shall be done. In the morning, Kai will accompany you and your compatriots to Stormholm Keep, and once you are there, report your findings to the king. Let him know that we are ready to support them. And when the king is ready for you to take the lead, come back to Kalito and our men will follow. And with that, she and the rest of the council raise a toast, and the festivities will come to an end.
Wait, before it ends, can I do a sick performance check?
Sure.
Yeah, I want to play my lyre, and I just want to roll a performance check just to see how good I can do.
To see how well you did for the night? Oh yeah, so as you're playing, so the festivities, now that she's made this big announcement, the people are all excited and happy, and kind of, you know, the air is just filled with electricity, and you are instantly jumping all over it, and you're like, yes, it is my time to shine, and you start playing music for the people, and everybody seems to enjoy it.
Awesome.
So overnight, everybody is kind of brought over to a nice safe place for you guys to sleep. The Handle Inn, which is way to the far west, point number 1 on your map. Everybody is brought to the inn to rest and relax and get ready for your trip. And as you guys are sleeping, Vormash, you have a vision while you're asleep. You see a person with short-length black hair and a long black cloak and black leathers. Appears to be a woman, unknown to you. You have no idea where this person's coming from, but you see that she's on a hillside by a lake somewhere. And she's kind of crouched down and kind of exposes an opening in some rocks. And as she enters this cave, she's approached by what looks to be a member of the Kingsguard, who's investigating the sound of a disturbance. Man pulls out his rapier, and this woman with her short sword, and after a bit of a scuffle, the woman's able to overtake him, hitting him in the back of the head with the hilt, trying to knock him unconscious. The vision changes and kind of fast forwards a little bit, and you watch as the same woman is shown trying to keep the door closed of a hallway to another Kingsguard. Kind of looks like the same person. You're not certain, but it looks like it's the same one. The Kingsguard is trying to force his way into the room, and she struggles and braces against it, just not wanting this guard to enter whatsoever. And then another flash forward, and suddenly you watch as this woman is now dragging the dead body of a Kingsguardman into a room where she was standing, and the blood coating the floor she crosses. Once she stops, she searches this person for a moment, and then she continues on, and your vision ends.
That's the last time I drink 5 ale at a tonight.
Avalana, you also have a vision.
Okay.
In your vision, you see 2 hooded men appearing to speak to a woman. in blonde hair and mostly tattered clothes. The vision reveals a town, though nothing very distinctive about it. Just a bunch of small houses. Looks like almost kind of like a slums area. The woman argues with him a bit, and they end up taking her captive and lead her away. As, obviously a crowd begins to form. The scene changes, though, and it reveals the same woman now in the throne room, with the same hooded men that you saw before, and they're a bit hostile this time. The party argues, and as they argue, a young boy is brought into the room, and the woman's attention is instantly focused on him. Once again, the scene changes, and her vision is now the same woman, but she's sitting in a jail cell, unmoving, covered in blood. Her eyes opened wide, obviously in shock. And that ends day 2 within Kalido. In the morning, the group gathers their stuff and prepares to head into Stormhome Keep. The party awakens from a much-needed slumber and prepare for their trip. With Kai leading the way, the people, the group, and a few guards from Kalido travel along. The journey to the keep is relatively quiet. Before long, you're greeted by an enneagram-shaped wall of a keep that you presume to be Stormhome Keep. Let me give you the map here. The shorter outer wall acting as an outer barrier in case of attacks, with the inner wall separated by a moat and a few bridges connecting them to the outside world. The road leading to the west, going past a caravan market, which goes right through the shanty town at the side of the city here. The road to the southeast, which you arrive on, connects the keep to all the other towns and villages on the eastern coast of the island. As the main gate opens, you guys are coming in from the top right road here. As the main gate opens, allowing for passage from the bridge into the keep itself, you find the inside of the keep is pretty vast and sprawling. The lands are shared by commoners and rich nobles alike. Towards the center of the town rests the Stormhome Market, which is the best place to find literally anything that would suit your needs. To the north east of the market lies the Ye Old Shrub Inn, complete with its renovated brothels and dark, rich ale. To the northern section of the market district, the Temple of the Gods, where a man of any faith is welcome with open arms into this place of worship to invoke the blessings of their god. The Noble District is where all the leaders of the city, and even from around all of the islands, come together, or used to come together, to make some of the important decisions for the people of the Living Isles. To the north, you'll find the best universities and colleges this side of the Trackless Sea, including the awe-inspiring Idle Hour Athenaeum. All of these places are very familiar to Vormesh, who previously used to live here and studied in the northern part of the city here. Within the administrative section of the keep, most of the town's militia and all of the business within Clycare can be found. To the north, within its own walls, northeast here, is Stormhome Castle, the large, round, 2-floor castle that stands apart from the city, elevated slightly, giving a pretty nice view of the keep itself from the balcony of the king's chambers. Where would you guys like to go?
Can I, like, side up to Vormash really quick and, like, kind of whisper to him?
Sure.
Hey, Vormash.
Hey, what's up?
You're, like, a pretty smart guy, right?
It's an understatement, but yes.
Do you know if, like, dreams mean anything?
Well, we all have a lot of dreams that really don't make sense. But why? Did you have a dream?
I had a very strange dream, and it was different. It seemed really real than normal, and it didn't make any sense. Usually I dream about myself, but this was about someone else I've never met before.
Were you observing them from a distance?
Yes.
Fascinating. I had a similar dream as well. These might be what we call visions.
But I'm not a fortune teller.
Neither am I, but you know, we had them. If maybe once we settle into maybe once we settle into the inn, you can describe this dream to me, and we can make sense of it together.
Okay. And then I'll continue following the rest of the group.
I'm just gonna pull out the strange coin, just keep looking at it as we're walking.
All right. Belvedere and Slavomir, I know it's been a little quiet for you guys here. Is there anything you would like to do?
I think I would stop by the probably go to the Temple of the Gods.
Okay. So we're going to just move the party to the center of town here, and everybody's gonna probably split, I'm guessing, and do a little of their own thing. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So we have Belvedere. Since you are first on deck, I'm going to do your thing here. So, situated within the market district, right in the middle of town square, the Temple of the Gods sits at rest. While generally a very busy place, as of late, the temple is mostly vacant, with very few visitors scattered here and there. The quadrilateral building connected underground to the building directly to the north of it allows the members of the clergy to travel freely between the buildings, to which they eat, sleep, and serve their god in the privacy of their own quarters. As you enter, one of the clergymen greets you and kind of happy to see you, and nods and says, Paladin of Tyr, correct?
Aye, sir.
And what brings you here to our lands?
I'm actually here at the behest of Duke Eltan of the Flaming Fists, just offer my aid to the king.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm certain that the king could use many more hands. Got a difficult time ahead of us, no?
So it would seem.
Oh, anything that you need, I would be happy to assist. What can I do for you?
I was wondering if I could get information on the one who was the former king, by the name of Tyris.
Tyris. Are you referring to the former leader of the Gladamain?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of information. Most of our record keeping, though, if you wanted to take a look, you could probably travel over to the Athenaeum, the library. if you would. They would have plenty of the records of, the goings on within the realm.
Indeed. I was just curious, it was my understanding that during his time, a lot of the folk regarded him as a sort of god.
Well, from what I recall, there's only been one god outside of those of the realm itself that has ever flourished here within the Living Isles, and that's Natar.
Am I familiar with Natar at all? Well, I'm speaking of character.
Out of character, you've heard the name once. No, actually, you have not heard the name once. Vormash has heard the name once. This is a god that is only worshipped here within the Living Isles, so. Or used to be worshipped within the Living Isles.
Hmm. Oh, it sounds. Actually, I was about to say thank you for that. Then I realized I didn't catch the name of the man who I was speaking to. So I'll ask him.
Oh, the gentleman, the clergyman in front of you. His name is Idols. Idles.
Spell that for me. Or just type it out, please.
Yep.
Do not have my notepad handy for some reason.
There you go.
Okay, Idols. Thank you, sir. I'll be sure to return when I've finished other business around the city.
He nods and says, "Very good. I look forward to seeing you return to our temple." Anything else?
I'll make my way to the Antheum.
Okay.
Then.
I'll join him to the library because that's where I wanted to go.
All right. Anyone else wanting to go to the library?
No thanks.
Nope. Can't believe that came out of Womish's words, but no.
All right. So we'll have two people that will be now going to the library, which is to the far north in the yellow section there. It's point number 5 on your map. To the north of the castle lies the largest library throughout the Living Isles. The Idle Hour, as it is referred to by the people, is flocked to by scholars and commoners alike, finding books from all across Toril, the planet of which all of this takes place. The stories of history, fairy tales, and other print media, such as town flyers and things of that nature, are kept within the walls of this building. From the outside of this massive library, it's very impressive. The building itself stands even taller than the king's castle. Yes, you need to be bringing that up soon. It stands taller than the king's castle itself, reaching almost 8 stories tall. The outer walls are very clean, with a white brick that glows very vibrantly in the sun. Single glass pane windows cover the outside of the building, and what appears to be a very massive tree branch sticking out of the southern wall of the building itself. 2 large doors in the southwest corner of the building allow for entry into the library. Once you are inside of the library, building is just crowded with people from all over the island. Tour groups and mages from the Mages College next door gather all around. The interior of the building is made in the shape of with a very massive ramp that goes all the way around the outside edges of the room and kind of curls to the top. Up about 4 stories, a wooden walkway has been installed due to the massive tree that impedes the walls and prevents passage. At the very bottom of the building sits a librarian, a young elf boy, looking at probably to be in his teens. He looks over and sees you guys walk in and notices you're not like the others here and says, May I assist you with anything?
Yes, I'm looking for books on, like, visions.
Books on visions. I can guide you to some very basic stuff. Do you know if these visions are caused by magic tricks, or do you think that maybe they are foretelling of something specific in your future?
I have no idea.
He nods and says, "Okay, I'll look around and see if maybe I can gather something, but we don't have too much unless you know specifically what you're looking for."
We did just fight a creature that said they were God, but other than that, I have no idea. And the creature did not like me at all.
The young kid's a little flustered, and he's like, "A god? There's..."
Don't worry, it's not actually a god. It just called itself one.
I'm leaning closer to Evelyn and be like, perhaps in most cases it might be prudent to be a little less forthright with information.
Oh, okay. I'll keep that in mind next time.
And he smiles and says, I can't really think of any gods. I mean, we have the god of war Natar that was celebrated here for many years, but beyond him, there's not much I can really do as far as gods go.
Well, can I just have like books on vision so I can try to figure out what's going on?
Oh, okay. And he kind of scrambles and starts looking through his little catalog of books that he has and says, give me a second. And you see it, and he starts running around the outside edges of this building, and he goes up about 2 or 3 flights of stairs, and he stops and he's looking through this massive, I mean, each floor is probably at least 15 feet tall, and there's books from floor to ceiling. And he starts climbing up the side of this bookshelf, and he's looking and looking, and he finds one, and he grabs it and he pulls it down, and he kind of looks it over for a second, flips through the pages, and it's like, yeah, I think this is it, and quickly rushes back down the ramp again, and comes back to where you guys are at, and a little out of breath, he walks over and hands you this book and says, I think this is the best I can do. It kind of gives you a little insight as to what visions might mean and what may cause them. It's pretty basic, pretty generic, but it may help to answer some of your questions.
It's perfect. And I give him a gold coin, and I go find somewhere to sit, and I start reading.
Okay. And then he turns and looks at Belvedere and says, "No, what can I do for you, sir?"
I would like any information you can supply me with on the Tyris Gladomain.
Tyris Gladomain. I mean, I can maybe provide you some information on cults.
Cults? Oh yes, because this is, of course.
I mean, that's really all I can do. I don't have much about the history of the Gladomain. I do have plenty of history of Stormholm Keep, but I think let me check. Let me look for something. And he quickly rushes back up again and starts heading to the top. Give me a second here. As he's looking, he finds a book. He kind of thinks that he might have something. He's not sure. He knows that there's one book specifically that kind of gives a history of all of the tribes, and then it gives a history of the cults and stuff as well, and that's the main focus of the book. And he comes back down, rushes down, and says, I think this will help. Here, how about I hand you this? And he hands you a book. Give me a second here. Let me see if I can link this to you. And he hands you a book titled A Song of Cults and Tribes. It's a history of the Living Isles, and hands it to you, and as you open it up, you're greeted with the overview and table of contents to give you an idea of kind of what's in the book. And it should be in your handouts, so you should see a player handout for a book with that specific thing.
Oh, yes, okay.
Mm-hmm. And he looks at you and says, well, do you think this will do? I mean, I may be able to find something else, but right now, this is the only thing that can come to mind.
I believe this will suffice for now. Thank you, young man. What your name was?
And he kind of smiles and says, oh, my name is Adriel, spelled Ardryll. Just the local librarian.
Thank you very much, Adriel. And I will also give him a gold coin.
All right. Anybody else? What's Slavomir doing?
He's actually going to walk around the shanty town. You mentioned that there's caravans coming in and out.
Yeah, to the northwest here. All of the blue sections around the city are the shanty towns. If you kind of walk around through them, you get the sense that these were like, just as they mentioned, they're shanties. They're people from all over the realm that, you know, maybe they've lost their homes or their city was destroyed, or, you know, something has happened and they have just uprooted everything and moved to this city. And in the process of doing so, not everybody can set up shops or anything like that. So the moving caravans set up, and they set up in the far northwest corner of the city itself, on the outside of the city.
Okay, well, I mean, I want to make my way towards their Peru, if you will.
Okay. Most of the shops through the shanty town will have very limited supplies. They'll carry very basic stuff, you know, just day-to-day items, some rations, things like that. If you're looking for anything more magical or, you know, anything of that nature, such as like potions of healing or anything like that, you would have to visit the somewhere within the city itself in the market district to find that.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'm not looking for anything in particular. I'm looking through. I understand, I understand a thing or two about displaced peoples, having been one myself, and you know, displacing plenty of people in my past.
Yeah, so you're kind of walking around and kind of walking the streets after you visit all of the merchant sections, which are the bigger blocks to the northwest. start traveling to the north and towards the east, going kind of around the outside of the keep itself, and kind of walk through the small town streets and the slums, as it would be, and very downtrodden people they've obviously been through a lot in their lives, and they're here because it's, you know, the city of Stormholm Keep is kind of a beacon of light for them. They feel, even though that they're living in these shanties and tents and things of that nature, they feel almost empowered to be here. They're just happy to be close to a civilization and be able to have access to the resources they need to live.
Okay, and as far as like I guess like racial breakdown, is it mostly people around here? Is there what do the races look like? What do the different peoples look like, and are they does it look like they have their own little microcosms, or is it diverse? Is it like a melting pot, or
Yeah, so the actual people themselves, the culture, it's very diverse. Because the island of Clycare, the people of Toledo are mostly high elves, but you come here and these people are quite the opposite. It's a little bit of everybody. You see dragonkin, and you see even, you know, just very basic kobolds that are kind of gathered around the city and just living a day-to-day life, and not, obviously it's going to cause some issues and disruptions within the people, because it's a very big melting pot and not everybody's going to get along. But there's literally every race you can think of lives within these grounds here.
okay, fair enough. And I'm just gonna continue perusing. Eventually, make my way back through the walls, and working my way towards the brothels.
Okay. Let's
And
see.
I guess I'm gonna go in and spend some of my hard-earned cash.
All right. So as you make your way back towards the market, the easily identifiable Ye Old Shrub Inn is probably the oldest pub and inn throughout Clycare itself. The inn, which was once called the King's Star Inn, changed its name when the building became entangled in vines, which cover every inch of the exterior of the building. When you enter the building itself, the interior walls are much the same as the exterior, coated in vines, and extends throughout the entire building. The bottom level of the inn is small and cramped, the bar extending from the front door all the way to the back. The building next to the inn is also one of their facilities where they brew their own beer of sorts, or ale, very dark ale. Seems to be a favorite amongst the locals. Behind the bar, a very old man with a bald head and a silver beard and mustache, is filling mugs and slinging them down the bar to the patrons. As you walk in, he greets you and tells you to take a seat, and though most of the tables and chairs are full, you can find a place to sit over back by the stairwell itself that leads up to the brothel.
Okay, and I guess I'm gonna start engaging with the guy behind the bar, the old man, and I'll ask him for his local brew.
All right. And he quickly pours you the very dark ale. Like I said, it's pretty unique, and as he hands it down to you, it's got a very unique flavor, very strong, very bitter, but very tasty.
Okay, and I'll drink a couple of those, and I'll ask him. And what are the prices for accompaniment?
And he nods and smiles and says, just Just make your way upstairs. The ladies will take fine care of you.
Ah, of course. But first, more drink.
He happily sends you another one down, and it's like, that'll be 10 copper, please.
And yeah, having no change, I'll just throw him a silver.
And he nods and thanks you, and says, "Next drink's on the house. Just come and see me."
Very good. And what is your name?
Guys, isn't asking names for random NPCs. His name is
Old Shanty, huh?
What's that?
Old Shanty himself.
Shanty. We're going to call him Sontar. Sontar.
Samtar. Very, very powerful name. What's he look like? Is he a human?
Yeah, he's a human. Stands about, I don't know, a little under 6 foot tall. Bald, gray beard, mustache, dark colored eyes. Pretty muscular guy. You can tell he's probably thrown a few patrons out on his own with no issues.
Very good. And my friend, let me ask you, how have things been through the town after the disturbances with the Alliance? I hear that war is coming.
He nods and says, "Business is picking up, though. I'll be honest. I understand that these are very trying times for our people, but let me tell you, this ale is selling like hotcakes, and I cannot stop serving it."
Oh yes, and very good ale it is. And I'll down another cup. And I guess I'll ask for my my on the house drink, and
Yep.
I'll make my way upstairs.
All right, so he'll toss you another mug of ale down and head upstairs to meet the ladies. And the ladies tell you it's obviously not cheap in a brothel, and they tell you it'll be 2 gold pieces for an evening with one of them. And if you choose to do so, please let me know.
2 gold pieces?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got nothing better to spend my money on.
Okay, give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh no, it's one of those, huh?
Oh yeah, it's always going to be one of those in a brothel. Never know what you're going to get. Roll high. Oh, I was going to say roll high. Okay. Go ahead.
This is about to be an awkward adventure.
It is going to be an awkward adventure as you have now contracted something, and you're going to go and have to find a healer to take care of you. Yeah. So yeah, we'll come back to that in a little bit.
I mean,
Perfect.
just gonna have to say, it's probably no small coincidence the old shrub inn is almost right next door to the Temple of the Gods.
Product
Oh, that's
placement.
awkward. All right.
Yeah. Vormash, you are up, sir.
Alrighty, I am gonna go to the market.
All right. 1 second. Market. All right. Of all the places within the keep, it is the market which brings the most attention. From fresh baked goods to, or from fresh baked goods which overwhelm your senses with the most wonderful scents, to the butcher shop that's freshly stocked of almost any cut of meat that you could possibly think of. The general store carrying virtually anything a person would need at any given time, and an explorer store also, which will carry some of the harder to find items. There's several smiths also in the area, though most of them appear to be very busy, working on items for the king and preparing the men on their journey ahead.
All right. So I'm gonna go around the markets, and I'm gonna ask people around if any of their shops have been robbed or have been attempted, or have there been any attempted robberies recently. I'm just gonna ask that around the shopkeepers.
So yeah, as you're kind of walking around and talking, you come across what looks like a vegetable vendor. Just has a little cart set up, and the guy nods and says, "Yes, that sounds very much like a situation I ran into."
How long ago was this?
He thinks, and he's like, "I don't know, maybe 4 months ago. It wasn't too long. Guy just got away, just disappeared right from within my grasp."
Yes. Well, and see, the reason I'm asking you about this is because you went to a guard with this information. Yes.
Yes, and the guard brought me to the king, and he kind of explained the situation and said, I was tired. Everybody in the area is just tired of being robbed. This guy didn't need anything. He was always stealing things. How could he always need things all the time to steal from all of us? And he was always getting away with it. So I was bothered, and I tried to stop him. And when he disappeared, I didn't know what to do.
Oh well, fear not, my friend. For that guard has hired me to find this thief and bring him to the proper authorities. I put my hand out and I go, Vormish Hendry, criminal investigator.
And this vendor, this very kind of portly man, starting to bald, very dark hair. He's a human, but he's pretty. You could tell this shop is his everything. He has nothing other than this shop, and he kind of grins and says, "Oh well, thank you, Mr. Edry. You said yes."
Yes.
Okay. And what do you plan to do? I mean, it's not gonna help anything now. The guy's gone. I have no idea where he went to.
It's okay. This thief has been robbing from various stores through for the past couple months, and I've been tracking him down recently. And I always go back to previous crime scenes, and I understand he came to your shop as the guard told me. So I just wanted to ask you one more thing. The guard informed me that you saw this coin, correct? And I show him the strange coin.
He nods and says, "Yeah, that was in the pocket of the guy that came here and was stealing things from us."
Do you know what this is?
He looks at it and shakes his head and says, "Looks like a medallion of some sort. I don't know anything other than that."
I see. Well, do you mind if I look around your shop? Maybe he could have left any clues or any trace.
And he nods and says, "Yeah, be my guest." And you kind of walk around and you look at this vegetable cart that he has, and all the vegetables look nice and freshly grown, and nothing really out of place. It just a normal vegetable cart.
This thief, did he appear of a female or male persuasion?
I think he was a male. Though I'm not really sure. He had a cloak over his head, and when I tried to get him and I tried to take the dagger and stab it through him, it just hit nothing. It just hit the cloak, and there was nothing there.
Do you still have this cloak?
No. when I brought this to the king's attention, he took the cloak and the coin that was in the pocket.
Well, and you're sure that's all you saw?
Yes, I'm quite sure.
Kind of put my hand up to my chin, just getting one last look at the place. Go, well, okay, I believe you. If you ever think of anything, please feel free to inform me. Vormish Edry. I'll be staying at the Ye Old Shrub Inn for the time being, as I pursue this thief, and and a little something to help compensate you for the inconvenience. And I hand him over 10 gold pieces, and I grab an apple and start walking away.
He thanks you profusely, because 10 gold pieces to most people is a lot of money, and he's very happy and very thrilled, and he's like, no, please take more, and hands you a small sack and puts a few more apples in it, and he's like, and thank you again for looking into this for me.
Anytime. Oh, may I ask of your name?
Yes, it is Ikarik. I'll spell it out here for you. Okay, see.
Well, Ikarik, you have a wonderful day. And, call me if you remember anything else, or if you know anyone else who's been robbed by the same thief.
I will. I will do that. Thank you.
And I shake his hand, and I start walking to another market to just look around.
Okay. Anybody with anything else?
Do I find anything interesting in my book that like seems to pertain to the vision I had?
As you're reading it, again, you get the sense that it's a pretty generic book. It talks about sometimes how visions are like attempting to guide you and show you where you need to be or where you need to go, and then other times visions are forced upon you. Sometimes they're spells that are cast upon you, because magic is a very well-known thing in the area and within the realm itself. But there's really nothing specific. It kind of gives you the sense that it's basically just trying to let you know that because you had visions, it doesn't always allude to something, but to follow your instincts based on what it says.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the kind of visions that you're seeing, you get a sense that these visions they feel too real to be dreams. They feel like you were right there, almost like deja vu. But
can I stop reading the book and get a piece of paper and try to draw like the woman I saw, however much I saw of her?
Yeah.
To the best degree I can, like as lifelike as I can.
Absolutely. 1 second. Going to need to make something for a second. That is the person that you see in your vision.
All right. I'm gonna like save it, and I'm gonna start
I'll show it to... First person I'm going to show it to is Vormash when we get back together.
Okay. So, just to get a feel for where everybody is here, we are at our typical end time. If you guys would like to stop here, we are at a point where we can stop, or we can go for probably another half hour. Would be the latest that it would go, because it would be beginning or closing out this part of the chapter and pushing you into what you will be doing next.
I say, I mean, I can go longer if you guys can.
So
I say we all meet back at the inn and get at least to the morning.
Okay. Slavomir and Bailey, are you guys good? Are you guys good to continue?
Yeah, I'll keep going.
Yeah, I'm great.
Okay. So yeah, everybody joins Slavomir, who's already at the inn, and had a bit of an interesting exchange with one of the ladies of the night there. And
actually, first, when I haven't gleaned anything from my book in particular, I was going to ask about the chapter 6, the Scarlet Hand.
Okay. So you read through. In order to read each chapter, or the chapters that you want to read, it will require you guys to perform at least a short rest. Because you are going overnight, I'm going to go ahead and unlock this for you, because you'll be reading it through your sleep, cutting into your sleeping time. But there you are.
So at night, I'm assuming we're in different rooms?
Yeah, so as you go upstairs, the upstairs section of this inn covers between the two buildings, the main part of the Ye Olde Shrub and the brewery on the other side. The buildings connect, and on the side of the inn itself, or of where the actual downstairs pub is where all of the courtesans and stuff of the building would hang out and do their business. And then there's kind of a bridge that connects between the two buildings. And if you go to the other side, there's an innkeeper there, and you can rent a room for the evening. Each of you can sleep in separate rooms if you choose to, or you can sleep in one room together, and they could give you a larger room.
My own room, please.
Okay. Basing it on standards, you can have for 1 gold piece, it would be pretty nice accommodations for the night.
1 gold piece?
Yep.
You got it. And I flick him, or I slide to him 1 gold piece to pay for my room.
And he hands you a key to one of the rooms down the hall to the left, right towards the end.
I do the same.
Okay. I'm going to assume everybody's going to give up the 1 gold piece and make their way to their own private rooms. So you all kind of check into your rooms, and you open the door.
I don't go to my room, though.
Okay.
I go to Vormash.
Okay.
I also don't go to my room. I go to Belvedere's.
Alrighty.
How about I start?
Yeah.
Belvedere, I don't think is here at the moment. He had to step away for a second. So,
Alright, in that case, I'll wait.
Okay.
So I go up to Vormash and I'm like, hey.
Oh, yes, come in. So where did you run off to?
I went to the library to read about visions, which didn't really tell me anything.
You went to the library? Oh, do they still have that little elf boy? He would always help me with my books.
Yeah, there's still the elf boy librarian.
Oh, it's a good kid right there. Anyway, yeah, but you said you found some books on vision?
Yeah, but it didn't. It was just very general. It didn't really give me any insight onto what I saw.
All right, well, yeah, hand me the book, and I'll see if I can find anything.
Also, I did draw a picture of who I saw, and I show him the picture of who I saw in case he
Okay.
like recognizes who it is.
So she hands you this picture, and you draw. It's this woman in very ratty kind of clothes, long blonde hair, and a green amulet, carrying a book. Give me a perception check for Mosh.
You got it. 21.
Oh yeah. So, you recognize this person as somebody who used to work at the Temple of the Gods. Her husband was a member of the King's Guard. You always used to see him at the temple, and she would always make a lot of trips to the Idle Hour, just because she's does a lot of research. That's kind of her job within the temple, is to do research, and she would go back to every time you would ever see her, she would go there with her son or with her husband to Idle Hour, and you remember her being like kind of familiar to the king. She was always interacting with the important people of the city. They always, anytime they would have a question, something that didn't quite add up, they would come to her because they knew that she could give them an answer.
Yes, I recognize this woman. I would see her from time to time at the Idle Hour with her son, I believe. She's pretty well known. A lot of people come to her for questions, and she always had the answers. Her husband works with the Royal Guard.
Oh, well, that's my vision didn't show her in very good circumstance.
Well, and I sit down on my bed and I tell her, well, describe it to me, yeah. And I pull out my ink and parchment and pen and gonna write down everything she says.
Well, it was this woman that I drew, this blonde-haired woman, and she was facing these two cloaked men, and then they were like in this slums area, and the men then took her, and then the vision flashed into a throne room with the woman and the two cloaked men, and they were looking at each other like with like contempt, I guess. I can't remember exactly. And a boy was brought in, and then it flashed again, and the woman was in a jail cell and she was covered in blood. And then my vision was over.
Oh my. I'm trying to remember in my head. Is this the woman she described? Does she look like the woman I saw in my vision?
No. You saw an entirely different woman in your vision.
Can I try and remember what she looked like?
Yes. Let me add that for you.
It's terrible. Like, I remember my vision. I saw a woman too, but it wasn't the same one. She was she was blonde with long hair. She had some sort of amulet around her neck.
That's the one that you're describing, is the one that
oh, my bad.
Yeah.
So it just popped up. Never mind.
Yep. That is the woman that you saw. Give me a history check.
You said the magic word. Never mind.
So, you kind of think on it a bit, and you're trying to remember. You feel like you've seen this person before. Like you're familiar with them. You know who they are. You can't place it. You don't know where you know them from. You know they're important, or from what your vague memory is telling you is they're important. But you don't know who they actually are.
Yes, I'm remembering another woman too, but she was completely different from the one you described. But I feel like I know her, but I just can't quite put it. Well, let's one thing at a time. Let's keep going through your vision. What is there anything else you saw? Anything out of the ordinary?
Well, I'm curious as to what throne room the woman was in. I wonder if it's the throne room in this city. She was in the king's castle. And if this is something that's going to happen or has already happened. And I wonder who the boy is and why was she covered in blood? I just have so many questions.
Well, if this is something that's going to happen, then I don't know. We could always stop by the idle hour and see if she's there, and if she's fine, then it could be something that's going to happen, or if it has already happened, I don't know what we can do about it.
Should we tomorrow stop by the idle hour then?
Yes, absolutely. Stop by the idle hour, and if her husband's still working at the at his employment, then we should pay him a visit as well. But describe to me the throne room.
DM, I can't quite remember what you said about the throne room. Can you describe it?
So the throne room, 1 second. I'm going to have to pull up a cue card because I can't remember the description of it. But I'll read it to you. 1 second. The throne room is very, very big, very massive, with 6 large pillars that stand over 40 foot tall to an arched ceiling. There are 3 sets of stairs in the area that you would come into. It would go to the left, the right, and the center of the room. The floor itself is made of stone, and until you get near the path which leads to the stone or to the throne, which is a different marble tile that you know probably haven't seen before. As you walk up the stairs and you look into the room where she was standing, in her vision anyways, there are black and red banners that are seen hanging all throughout the room, and a number of sconces with torches lit within them. And then in the back of the room itself is a kind of like a water basin at the very back of the room behind 2 red velvet thrones.
I describe all of that to Vormosh.
Okay. Alright, so tomorrow, when we go see the king, if his throne room looks anything like what you described, then she might be close by, if she is in danger.
Okay then.
And let's not say anything about this once we enter the throne room. And if it is the same throne room, let's not say anything to any of the guards or anything.
All right, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Good. All right. Now, if she is in danger, as you described, covered in blood in a cell, what do you propose we do about it?
Well, I had this vision for a reason, I feel. I feel like I'm supposed to do something. I don't think I had this vision just to see something. I feel like I need to help her.
Okay. And if she is in danger, we will help. We will try and help her.
Okay, and with that, we're switching pages, going over to Slavomir and Belvedere. Is Belvedere back?
I'm here.
Okay, cool. So the party is taken their own rooms at the inn, and Slavomir is coming to speak to you for just a few minutes.
Okay.
Slavomir, are you there? Is he gone now? Jake, are you there? Okay. We will, I guess, move on. Might have stepped away. Uh-oh. Oh.
It's attention.
Okay. So yeah, until he gets back, we will continue and proceed to our next section here. So you guys in the morning, everybody kind of goes their own ways and takes some time to kind of relax and recover, trying to, gain some of your strength from the past few days that have been pretty trying. On the next morning, which it's now day 4 of your adventure, the party itself groups back up and you make your way up to Stormhome Castle. As you approach, the building itself is very modest compared to a lot of the castles you've seen back in Faerun. The exterior is a very large cylinder shape, roughly 100 feet wide and about 3 times as tall. The brick structure itself lacks windows except for a handful of very tiny ones that seem to just kind of glance out in specific directions. The only exception to this is the private war room, which is situated on the balcony at the top of the keep itself. Once you come to the main entry, the guards don't seem to pay you any mind. I mean, it appears pretty standard that people would, approach the castle, and they don't really make much of an ordeal about it. Would you like to make your way inside?
Yeah, we'll start making our way inside.
All right, 1 second. Place you inside of here. Hold on. All right. So, you make your way inside of King's Castle. Give you a description and stuff before we proceed forward. All right. So, once you enter through the main entry, you're brought directly into the throne room. Very ornate tiles of different shades of brown and beige line the floor path ahead of you, leading to a podium at the end. The room itself is lighted by 6 torches, which line the pathway and flank the podium at the end, where 2 guards stand and guard as you approach, or 2 knights stand and guard as you approach. On the platform at the end, the king and Lady Gladamain sit. Their throne's a very deep purple, matching the king's colors. Behind them, 2 smaller flags, one representing the king and one representing the Gladamain people, stand side by side to two statues with that are flag bearers holding just stone flags. It's just a statue of sorts. To your left and right as you enter, you notice that there are kind of notched out sections of the room and small V-shaped slits between some of the bricks, and the rumbling of a couple of water fountains to the south and north of the room itself. The ceiling extends very high into the air, almost 200 feet, and every footstep echoes within the chamber. Along the back of the room, the curved overlook with similar V-shaped slits between a few of the bricks, and a single massive banner of the king's crest along the brick wall. On either side of the king's podium, flank stairwell that lead to the upper floor of the tower itself. On the left sits King Stormholm, with gray, medium, short-length hair and a full beard, very neatly trimmed. A deep jade-colored eyes, and it clashes against his very pale skin and very pale hair. You notice that he's sitting in full battle armor, black with some silver trimmings. Vast difference from the purple and silver robes that he would normally adorn. To the right is Lady Gladamain, advisor to the king and the ruler over the Gladamain in the city of Toledo. Very fair-skinned, with long, flowing golden hair and soft green eyes. Her high elven features of her eyes and ears, a bit unique to the city, at least within the royals, making her pretty easy to spot just about anywhere she goes. A very tall woman, roughly about almost 6.5 foot tall. Her dress matches that her daughter Mariel and the other members of the council wore, the dark blue and gold, with a very small and unassuming crown sitting upon her head. Very elegant. She sits quietly, and as you guys approach the podium, the king immediately calls out and says, welcome back. I see my son has decided to join you. If you recall, Kai was accompanying you guys, so he's been watching and waiting for all of you to return. He says, I see your travel back from Toledo went well. And what is this? Some travelers from Faerun? Well, that's wonderful news. Please, please, approach.
Yeah, I guess we start to approach. Start walking. So just to be clear, this isn't the same throne room Alvana saw in her vision, right?
Yeah, it isn't, right?
Did not match the description that you were given.
Okay, so just relieved. I start approaching.
Yeah, I'm not like rushing like as my token is. I'm slow walking.
Yep. Slavomir and Belvedere, you guys are?
And then go farther. I'm gonna go up with them.
When I get up to close enough, I'm going to kneel.
Yeah, I'm gonna kneel as well.
Okay. So as you approach, the king immediately recognizes Formosh, and is kind of a huge smile crosses his face, and he's like, "You've made it back, Formosh, my friend. I am so thankful that you are here. And you're accompanied by friends? Please, regale me of your adventure. Tell me you bring some good news to our land."
Tell them about the troops thing.
Yeah, I was gonna lead with that. What was the name of the city that said we got their support?
Toledo.
Well, you'll be happy to. I'd be happy to inform you that the people of Toledo have your support.
Kalito, and he looks over at Lady Gladamain, and they kind of grin at each other, and he's like, I would hope so. I wasn't too worried that they wouldn't support us, but I feel there's more to this than what you're saying.
Yes, well, unfortunately, during our stay in Toledo, we've come across some unfortunate events.
Unfortunate in what way?
We believe a projection of a man, of a apparition claiming to be Tyrius, or Tyris?
Tyris.
Tyris. Claiming to be Tyris has started had begun to attack these people, and thanks to our efforts, he's no longer a problem. But yeah, we fear he may still be out there and is planning something against you, King.
The king nods and says, well, he is one of many, though I'm not going to assume to know who this, what this Tyris is capable of. If you feel that there's a danger, then we will take it very seriously.
Yes,
He's also really, really rude.
I can vouch for her.
And Lady Gladamain sitting to the side there is, she looks a bit quizzically at the party and says, are you sure this is actually Tyris?
We can neither confirm nor deny that this is actually Tyris, but this apparition calls himself Tyris.
She says, of all of the people of the Gladamain, Tyris was the most kind of all of us. I can't foresee that this would be of his doing.
Well, Vormash is leaving kind of a lot out. Like, Tyris, he was saying that he's like a god and that he was worshipped as a god and he is a god now, and that he's going to kill the king because the king isn't allowed to be in charge of other people's lives like he is because he isn't a god. And so he's going to kill everyone in Clycare in 14 days and stuff. And he got real mad when I told him nobody cared about him being a god and that he wasn't a real god.
And once again, she kind of looks at the party and she looks over at Avalana and says, you there, what is your name?
Avalana. She's so sheepish being looked at by the high elf.
And she says, Avalana, may I have a word with you?
Yeah?
And she steps down from her throne and walks over and accompanies Avalana, kind of pulling her to the side and taking her up the stairs to the south here into a kind of a private quarters.
Well,
and the king, kind of watching all of this go on, just looks back at the rest of the party and says, well, we will deal with this god if he ever shows his face here. Though, by the sound of it, I don't know that we have a lot to worry about.
I'll speak up and say that forever is worth, for as much as I could tell with my expertise, it was nothing more than a projection and a ruse.
He nods and says, this is good news. So please, gentlemen, tell me why you're here. And as he says this, we go over to Lady Gladamain, who's can tell that Avalana is a bit nervous, and says, she's like, with each of your friends, I'm sure they have very noble ambitions. And I'm sure your intentions are well, but I can tell you're here for something far different. I admire your desire to achieve greatness. My daughters thought you were quite the storyteller at the Heroes Feast. There's something familiar about you, young bard. Please, tell me of your past.
Well, I have a human mom, and I have an elf dad, but I don't know who he is. And I just kind of took care of my mom, and then when she passed, I moved on with my life.
And she nods and says, "You know, you remind me a bit of myself at your age. You weave tales of adventure and misfortune as you travel throughout Faerun, but you really don't know much of yourself. Your knowledge is considerable, however, and your skills of storytelling are very much unmatched. And though you may have dazzled and mystified the people of Faerun with your fables and tall tales, our people need something much more than that in these trying times. What our people need is hope. They need someone to assure them that their king is making the right decisions for them. I believe you to be destined for far greater things, young bard, and your tales of valor will help tell themselves." And she'll kind of smile at Avalana and say, "Don't worry. You will have great need here. The people here can always use something to provide hope." And she'll bring Avalana back to the rest of the party, but not before the party kind of tells the king what has been going on behind the over in, what is it, Kalido, and their own personal stories of what brings them here.
Well, my king, I've been brought here because, well, I take it that you called me here, didn't you? You personally called me down here to investigate something, right?
Ah, yes. The biggest mystery in the kingdom. We found that coin on your person. We found it on a man who vanished in thin air. We don't know anything about its origins, and every scholar and sage we asked here in Clycair, nobody seems to have any information on it, aside from the fact that it was probably stolen.
Well, if it was stolen, then my hunch tells me is that he's looking for more of these, and I pull out the coins. Like, if he is after this, then probably holding on to this would be our best bet. But he might come to me.
And he looks down and he's like, "It's remarkable. Are they the same?"
They are very similar in a way. Yes, I believe they are the same. Also, I spoke with that shopkeeper that you saw 4 months ago, Ikarik.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I investigated his shop, found nothing. I didn't think I would, but his story does check out. He did appear to have vanished in thin air.
And how does it check out?
If I had to guess, probably illusionary magic would be my best guess.
And he nods and says, "You know, that token you have, the face on the front side, I can't make any sense of it, but the crest on the back, that's the crest of the god Natar. It's been a long time since I've seen anything like that.
Natar, you say?
So my ears noticeably perk up.
Yes.
Any thoughts? Your thoughts, Paladin?
Paladin.
Well, it's just it can't all be a coincidence, but just recently reading up on things on certain things and that I've come across, and that excuse me. Just reading up on certain things that I've come across or experienced. It seems to be that the god Natar, and in particular the Scarlet Hand, seems to be coming up quite often. And I'm getting to believe this is much more than just a simple coincidence.
Did you say the Scarlet Hand?
I did indeed.
That's a name I haven't heard of in a long time. I mean, it all does sound a bit fanatical, don't you think? I mean, maybe head east and talk to Eleonora Meister in False Harbor. She's a friend of the royal family and a member of the clergy at the temples here in town. She often travels to False Harbor, and last I knew, she was headed in that direction. Perhaps she has some information about this Scarlet Hand that you speak of.
Yes, I agree. In the meantime, my king, I'm going to need. I will stop by the library and possibly the what was that religious place called?
The Temple of the Gods?
Yeah, Temple of the Gods.
Yep.
Stop by the Temple of the Gods. Probably investigate further. I'll send you a letter in about a couple of days, notifying you if I've discovered anything.
And he nods and says, yes, I think that would be best.
One last thing. The shopkeeper told me that he gave you the cloak that the thief wore when he broke into his shop.
Yes.
If it's all right with you, I'd like to see this cloak, see if I can pick up anything on it.
He kind of shakes his head and says, "Unfortunately, we didn't keep the cloak. Once this gentleman vanished and we found the token inside of his pocket, we burned the cloak. We didn't really feel that, that whatever magic is going on, we didn't want to take any chances and leave something lying around that he might want to come and get."
I see. And this cloak was just a regular cloak, nothing out of the ordinary?
Yes, it was just a normal black cloak, nothing special to it.
Okay. I see. Well, that'll be all for me, Your Highness.
Okay, and Slavomir, are you here? I think we've lost Jake.
I think so as well.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, with that, he says, well, I hope you find what you're looking for, and please, if you wouldn't mind, please check on Eleonora. I'm a bit concerned for her safety. I haven't heard from her in quite some time.
Ah, yes, Eleonora. She, I did meet with her back when I was in Toledo. She sends her regards and just says hi. She's perfectly fine, I assure you.
You have failed your deception.
No, wait, who was that elf woman we met in Who did I meet at the party that said
Mariel?
Mario? Oh,
Mariel is the daughter of Lady Gladymane.
oh, okay. Well, all right. I'm gonna say that to the Lady Gladymine then.
Okay. And she thanks you and says, My daughter handles herself well. I have no worries about the city of Colito under her charge.
Yes. Lady, and I just open the floor to anyone else.
And with that, the king tells you, basically tells you, you can kind of have the run of the city for the day if you wish, or you are welcome to make your way on your adventure from the keep itself. But at any rate, we are going to end our session here.
All right.
Yeah.
We unfortunately lost Jake at the end there, so we'll catch up with him and see what was going to transpire between Belvedere and Slavomir before they went to meet the king. And if any additional questions need to be answered or anything, I will answer them then. Give me just a couple minutes. I'm going to end the stream and then I'll be back and we will do our wrap up. All right, so with that is the end of our stream today. Thank you guys so very much for being here. A lot of story, a lot of building on what is already there and overloading the group with information and new places and wonderment. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it, just like I hope they're enjoying it. We will be back for this game. I believe it is the 21st. Let me pull up my calendar here. Yes, the 21st of February for our continuation for Session 3. Don't forget, Session 3 of Alliance is on the 17th. Other than that, I hope to see maybe some of you around tomorrow for our Thursday game for RPG Thursday. If not, I will see you on our next D&D night. And with that, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you guys.